Barbie! I told you to wait in the dream house. Boys, avenge me! Avenge me! Avengers!
Bazinga.
Scruffy-looking nerve herders.
Ethan Hunt contacted you?
I am good, Rooster. I'm very good.
So you are Yoi's a trainer who trains.
Gonzo the Great will ride this baby again.
Hello and welcome to episode 69 of the Real Serious Podcast. Joined by Charles right now. Jack will be joining us very, very soon. But we have a big episode, a lot of Marvel talk today with the Thunderbolts review. We're very excited to get into. It is only the second Marvel movie of this podcast's history, I think. Is that right?
That can't be right.
Third. It's a third. I think we had Deadpool.
We had Deadpool,
Captain America, and now Thunderbolts. So
did we not have anything last spring?
I believe we started after we had Marvel movie releases.
This is good. This
is a great start to the podcast. We are killing it. No, because I think it was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
When did that release?
Only Deadpool Wolverine was 2024. So yep, that's it. We've only had two. What a great start to the podcast. We are off to a flowing start.
Three now.
So yeah, pretty excited for that today. We got a lot more to get into. We had some just breaking news that broke like right now that I'm actually not going to – I'm going to save for Jack getting here because I think we all would like to talk about it. But some big news out of the White House, which we'll get to in a moment here.
Oh, dear.
I know. We're going to get political in this week, so sad.
Jack,
we're going to get political.
In 2 episodes now, Jack wasn't here for the end and was absent for the beginning.
So
I bet our listeners are pretty confused.
So on the Reddit, whoever runs our Reddit account will just have to update his episode count. He gets 1 episode total for the last 2 episodes.
True.
For his appearances on the pod.
Yeah.
But the thing actually I want to start off first with, before we usually do our what we've been watching, is Charles, as a not Last of Us game player, as just a TV show guy, how are we feeling about the Joel-less Last of Us show?
So bad.
See, I actually did not mind this week's episode. I think that the Dina-Ellie relationship is a little more interesting than it was in the game. Maybe
so. I don't know.
You were there to see Joel.
I was. I was here to see Joel, and now that he's gone, it's just not as interesting. So what even happened in this episode? They just went to Seattle, and
they wanted to take revenge, so now they're on their way. But they're heading out.
Remarkably little amount of time.
They didn't get there yet.
They did. They are looking at Seattle right now.
Oh, that's right. At the end of this one, they do make it there.
Yeah.
In a day.
I don't know. I think my problem with this is I don't like the is her name Ellie? No. Ellie and
Dina.
I don't like the relationship because I don't like Ellie. The entire first half of the episode was just Ellie complaining. Like, yeah, I get that you're not even dad, like your guardian just died. But she's so negative and she gets mad at other people that are also grieving, and it's so infuriating. And also the entire kind of scene in the courthouse, if you even call that a courthouse, just kind of made me annoyed because I totally side with the people that are, like the public that are saying we should not be getting revenge. And the people that are like, well, they might come back. If they come back, you're on home turf. If you were to go there, then you're probably still going to die. If you're going to away turf, enemy territory with fewer people, you're going to get reamed. But if they come back, yeah, that's bad. But you're going to be on home turf. You're going to have more bodies to protect. That argument made so much sense to me. Like, we should not be going back. If they come back, oh, well, we'll defend instead of be on the offensive. So that made me annoyed that people even remotely thought that going to Seattle was a good idea. But also that one guy who Ellie doesn't like completely defended her, and then she was super pissed when he was around to potentially maybe go with them. I just think Ellie is has no redeeming qualities. And that's kind of what took me out of this episode in the show. Joel is my favorite. Now he's dead. Ellie has no redeeming qualities. and she's the main character. That was a long rant, and I did not expect to rant that long.
No, I think it's very valid. I am more of the opinion, I think of the team to go after the people. I think that, especially in a world like The Last of Us, if you are not the hunter, you become the hunted pretty quickly. And I just feel as though like they need to, and obviously they don't know the whole backstory, right? Of like, oh, it's, you know, someone who came specifically there for Joel. But like if it was another group of people, that's the group of people that would probably keep coming back for more and more, because it's, you know, people who don't attack you or come after you afterwards. And then also I would agree. I do think that Ellie is pretty unlikable at this point. However, I would say that and obviously this is different because I played the game, but the moral, like the story going forward is Ellie becoming a more likable character. I think that this is a big self-reflection for her. Becoming a better person going forward is kind of like her main character story arc. Becoming more human is a big thing, because she kind of has two paths that she can go down, right? She can go down like the Joel path of when we first met Joel, and Joel in most season 1, where he's kind of like he's not a great dude, all things considered, and he's got all this rage, and then he gets softened by Ellie, where the other path is basically the Dina path, where like if she is Joel now, Dina is her Ellie, and Dina can soften her up and make her more human, which is what Ellie did for Joel. And now the cycle continues, because the whole thing with The Last of Us is just like we live in a circle, right? Time is a flat circle. The same things are going to happen over and over again. We get the same processes. We get the same people we're going after, and the cycle of violence continues no matter what. And I think that is kind of a pretty interesting way to handle it. I just think that it's going to take some time, and I think a lot of people like you, very fairly no, but fairly so, are going to get turned off of this show if you're not also a fan of Dina, which is why I think they should have had more impetus on the flashbacks with Joel in them, or like maybe, you know, they happen more frequently or whatever it may be. But yeah, I'm still with you. I think that the likability is a little slow on the draw. It's just the question of, will people stick around until she gets to that point? Also, with the fact that they're doing the season and the second game into 2 seasons, at what point does this end? And like where is Ellie's character at that point? Because like if we leave season 2 and Ellie still isn't very likable, and we have to wait till season 3 for her to become likable, I think the viewership is going to just fall off a cliff before that season 3 premiere.
I think the viewership's going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, it's already dropping.
I watched with my roommates, and all 3 of us at the end of the episode were like, yeah, that just wasn't good. There was nothing.
That's why I still think they made the dumb decision. Season 2 finale should have been the death of Joel, and season 3 was about the revenge tour, because then it would have been, I think, a better structure, and it fell apart.
Season 2 killing him off is just a diabolical decision.
I think this early, that's not.
Episode 2, I meant.
Yeah, I think it's too early. I think even if you did it in the penultimate episode, and then we had the season finale being like basically up to this point, where it's the aftermath, we handle it, and they decide to go.
I need you to tell me that group of random people that we got about 2.5, 3 minutes of, and then Ellie and Dina just found them dead.
Oh yeah, under the wolves.
Maybe. Do we ever get any insight?
Yeah.
They are.
The wolves do come back. Okay. Pretty sure they're the wolves, aren't they?
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember, because there's the wolves, and then there's the other group.
That was like the only part of the episode that I was like, okay, this is interesting.
I don't know. I think the
rest
wolves.
Of the episode, I was like, this is stink.
Hang on, the wolves are the other group. I'm trying to recall.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, wait, hang on. Here it is.
It's really not that important.
I know, but now I'm annoyed that I don't remember it.
Okay. This is good stuff.
Yeah, this is great. Affiliation. Okay, yeah, wait, and I remember now. Okay, there's like a whole different group, basically. And so, yeah, they are kind of a other group of the wolves, if this is what I remember correctly.
All right.
All right, cool. That was Last of Us talk. Heck yeah. We kind of skipped past that. Oh, also,
Now back to
I
our-
will recommend to anybody, The Rehearsal Season 2 is some of the best television that's out there right now. Nathan Fielder's show is so good. You do not need to see Season 1, jump into Season 2. There's only been 2 episodes so far. Big recommend. It is easily the best TV comedy in maybe the last decade. It's so good. I love it. Love it so much. So yeah,
Cool.
that's all I got.
All right. Back to our normal broadcasting.
Our
What do we
regularly
got this
scheduled
week?
programming.
Yeah, that's it.
What have you been watching?
I watched 3 films this week.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I finally finished Mary Poppins. What was that? You okay?
Am I skipping?
What?
What?
It looked like you just had a breakthrough. You like put your hands on your head, backed up, and
Well, you said 3 whole movies that you watched, and I was pretty shocked that you got to 3. That's like a record the last couple weeks.
I had 3 left. Okay, whatever. First film, I finally finished Mary Poppins. This was like the 5th time I've visited it. Like the first time I watched it, I watched an hour. Then the second time, like 30 minutes. The third time, like 10 minutes. Finally finished it. Gave it 4 stars. I think I would have liked it more if I had finished it in one sitting. Definitely not my favorite musical.
Mm-hmm.
Tough competition. I told someone that this weekend. I was like, yeah, Mary Poppins, it's good, but definitely not my favorite. And they're like, oh, what's your favorite musical? And I like really confidently said, Sing in the Rain.
It's a great one.
Oh yeah. So I think I have a list of all my musicals rated. I think it's like 16 right now, and Mary Poppins was number 8. Off the top of my head, it was behind Wizard of Oz, and not in this order: Wizard of Oz, Sound of Music, Singing in the Rain, La La Land, Greatest Showman, a couple others I forget. But yeah, it was good. Then I revisited Mission Impossible, the first one. 3.5, I think 3 or 3.5. It's just like I watched it with my roommate, and it's just like a damn good time. Tom Cruise running, the music, and that knife scene just all rocks. Gets me fired up. And then I watched Thunderbolts, which we'll talk about later.
Nice.
I think that's all I got. Yeah.
That's what I like. Pretty electric.
Yeah.
I watched Mission Impossible Fallout. I gave it 5 stars. Incredible.
No surprises there.
I think it is the best action movie of all time. I mean, it's truly incredible. I love it so much. Then I watched Thunderbolts, and we'll talk about that later. And then Avery and I watched Trainwreck, which I expected to not like because, as we've talked on this podcast, I am an Amy Schumer hater. But I really liked it.
I think most podcasts around are Amy Schumer haters.
Well, first and foremost, this podcast. I really liked it. I thought it was quite funny. Bill Hader is incredible here. But let me read you this cast. All right. Let me read you this cast. Amy Schumer, Bill Hader, Brie Larson, LeBron James, John Cena, Tilda Swinton, Vanessa Bayer, Ezra Miller, Randall Park, Tim Meadows in a great role, Matthew Broderick, Daniel Radcliffe, Tony Romo, Marissa Tomei are in here.
Awesome.
As well. Yeah. Also, LeBron James in this movie is a great actor. He's funny. He's got good timing. I don't know like where this was in the second Space Jam movie, but here he's really good. So big recommend. This really did change my perception on the LeBron MJ topic. So yeah, big recommend here for me. Also, good comedies are hard to come by, and this one is good. Then we've talked about it a couple weeks ago, obviously with the very tragic passing of David Lynch. And I was like, you know what? I really don't know a whole lot of David Lynch movies, so I'm going to watch Blue Velvet. I gave it 3.5 stars. Very weird. Very, I don't know how to describe it outside of like David Lynch, Ian. It definitely is a movie that you have to accept the rules of its world, which I have no problem with. I was very into that idea. I just, it takes a bit to jump into, I'd say. You have to definitely be in the mindset for this movie. I think it is quite beautiful to look at points, and also quite hard to look at points, which is a testament to it. Also, a young Laura Dern here is pretty great. So yeah, that was Blue Velvet. And then I watched Thunderbolts again because I really liked it. So I went to the theater and saw it twice. Additionally, I watched the entirety of the new Netflix show 4 Seasons. And I really liked it. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was good. Honestly, I thought it was pretty charming. I like adult comedies like that, and that was a big one that I big recommend. So yeah, and I don't even really watch a lot of TV shows. So if I recommend the TV show, you know it's pretty good.
Oh boy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. All right, ready to get into some news?
Born ready.
All right. I think you and I are the gamers out of the group, so we'll start with this one. GTA 6, May 2026. Are we in?
I think it's May 26, 2026.
May 26, 2026 is 100% accurate. Are we in?
100, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you know how many hours of Grand Theft Auto 5 online I played during
No,
the pandemic?
I don't.
Have I not told you this?
I know you played a lot of it.
So when did the pandemic start? Like March 20th or something?
Sure.
Officially? Okay, let's say it started March 20th. I downloaded it the first day of, so March 20th. Between March 20th and May, I don't know, let's say 31st, I logged, I believe, how many? I think it was something like 30 days of gameplay in just over 2 months. Maybe 28 days.
Okay. That's pretty impressive, actually.
In just over 2 months.
That's pretty crazy.
It was disgusting. It was horrible. I mean, it was awesome, but it was horrible. I love Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto. So I'm quite excited for GTA 6.
I am very excited for GTA 6. I did not do as much online as you. I think it was tough because like I got into GTA 5 a little late, and by the time I jumped into it, everyone was already like way past me and didn't want to do like the baby missions that I was doing, and that made it really tough because I didn't want to like do it with strangers. So I would just kind of drive around in my like first level car and just like hang out, which was fine. But I really am like, all right, this one I got to lock in and get good. I saw this thing on TikTok, and I don't know how true it is, but like I don't even know who the guy was posted it. Basically, he was like, "Oh, well, it's taking so much longer because they want to do a true, full, like open world experience where all the players can be up on at once, and you all share a world together." I was like, "That'd be pretty sweet." But also, I have no idea how that would work. It'd be cool, really cool.
That'd be okay.
I don't know if like you went online and it was like everyone in, I don't know, your like area or like your country was also online in that same city that the game set in. That might be a little chaotic, but it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to log in to see to like my old Rockstar email to see if I
see how many hours you put in.
Yeah. I think it's tied to my old email that I don't have access to anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Oh, you know what? I'll survive. I'll be okay.
First I was afraid. I was petrified. But yeah, that was our GTA. Isn't it Miami or like their version of Miami?
I think it is Miami. And also, I see what you mean. When you're like a level 5 or something.
Yeah, and everyone's already at like 60 and I'm like,
I think I was a level 140. But if you don't have an oppressor, the oppressor is like the flying motorcycle with the rockets.
No, I didn't have that. Never even got that.
You just get rinsed constantly because
never even
because you're low level and they can just like boost their KD. So, and also if you do missions to make money, you kind of only can, and this is so like only the GTA listeners are going to care about this. Jack.
Hello.
Welcome.
You on, fellas?
We're talking GTA 6.
We're getting very granular on GTA 6.
Well, one of us is getting granular. The other one had a basic car and had like the big garage and never even got to know like get an apartment or a business.
See, I hate to break it to you fellas. I really never played GTA.
See, that's what we did without you. We knew this first topic without you.
But Jack, I played 30 days of gameplay during quarantine. So I was
That's awesome.
That's a much better reaction, Hunter.
Yeah.
I told Hunter and he just like didn't say anything. But
I mean,
between like March 20th and May 31st, I played 30 days of gameplay.
That's insane.
It's a lot. I'm not saying that's not a lot, but I think at the same time, like, we were all doing stupid stuff during quarantine. I mean, I was playing a lot of 2K, watching like Outer Banks and stuff like that. Like, come on, like everyone was doing stuff during quarantine. We were just trying to find stuff to do.
100%.
Unfortunately, watching good and peak cinema was not on that list for junior and senior year, Jack. Very unfortunate. I could have been ahead of the game.
My letterbox could have been cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. You're telling me.
No, I would wake up on, I think it was Tuesdays at like 4 a.m. when the new wheel dropped, or like the new shop, all the deals, just so I could like see what the new deals were that week. It was heinous. It was so bad.
I mean, like, senior year, I started like a YouTube channel. I just wanted to find something to do. Like, I was just,
heck yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what have you guys kind of gotten through while I've been?
We did what we watched this week.
Business.
And
Nice.
And then this first piece of news. That's really it. Also, we have some big breaking news. And The Last of Us, which too. Charles was a hater on.
We really haven't accomplished much in the first 20 minutes of this.
But should I break the breaking news and then we can start with that? Or wait, actually, Jack, why don't you give what you watched this week first? I apologize. Jump at the gun.
Sure. Yeah, it was a fun week for me. Definitely, there was some spontaneity. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
You. Wow.
I was just chilling. I was like, this is like my last real week of schoolwork, and I was like,
oh yeah, you're like done now.
I am.
Holy moly!
I know it's exciting and sad at the same time, but Point is, though, I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, I got a lot of assignments I got to finish by Thursday. I get a text from a good friend, and he's like, hey, would you want to go see Sinners? And I'm like, yeah, Sinners rocks. And he said, well, do you want to drive up to Indy to see it in 70 millimeter? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it again. So we went up again on Wednesday. It was Nikhil. I mean, you guys know him.
Oh,
yeah. Awesome. We had such a great time. 70 millimeter, you can't really beat that experience at all. But that movie is so good. And Charlie, I really hope that you find some, time out of your busy schedule to go check it out. But then I saw Revenge of the Sith this week again. In my opinion, there's a lot of nostalgia kind of drawn, into that movie for me, as to where I just watch it and I love the experience of watching it, how it makes me feel. This time watching it, I think I definitely noticed there's a lot of problems with this movie, and I could kind of go on and on about how the dialogue is pretty bad. There's some pretty bad scenes with. I don't really think Hayden Christensen is to blame. I think there's just a lot of writing errors. If you guys are feeling what I'm saying.
I think
it's pretty below average writing. I think it is also the writing he intentionally went with.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's the writing and I think Hayden could have delivered some of the lines a little better. But
okay, fair enough. But I still give that movie 5 stars. I'm just like, I love it so much, and how excited I get when I watch it. It just, I don't know. But I will say it has dropped, especially on May the 4th. I feel like it's very fitting. It has dropped to number 2 in my Star Wars ranking. The Empire Strikes Back has reclaimed the throne. As the rightful king.
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
What an out-of-box take.
Yeah, I know. But I felt like that was fitting, especially with love it, but still there's some problems there. So I felt like it was fitting to throw it at 2. And then what else did I do this week? Watch the Thunderbolts, duh. Get to that later. Super pumped.
Oh, I watched your show with your guy Coleman Domingo on Netflix. Very good show.
Really? You watched all of it?
I watched all. I binged it all.
Oh,
it's
boy.
quick. It's quick. It's only 8 episodes, and they're 30 minutes each. So between last night and doing my laundry today, sitting at the laundromat waiting for it to be done, I finished it. It's a good show.
Because like Caitlin and I are trying to find like a good show again for us to like watch, but then like Yeah, I feel like that would be a good
No.
one. So we might like kind of slowly get through it. But I was super pumped to see that came out on Netflix. So that's just kind of added on to the watch list. I still haven't watched the last 2 episodes of The Studio, so I feel so
I'm behind
far.
as well. I'm very behind.
It's frustrating. And then I had some extra time today, and I wanted to see The Surfer with Nick Cage.
Ooh.
And can't say it's like my favorite movie of the year, but there's definitely some artistic decisions that were made for this movie, and I think it's very like heavy. If you buy into the Nick Cage performance, I feel like you're gonna enjoy this movie, but I feel like if you normally don't like Nick Cage in general, like this movie is just not for you. But looks great. Like, oh no, that's The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That is peak cinema right there.
That is.
They talk about how Paddington 2 is quite possibly the greatest movie of all time. I'm just saying, you gotta.
They get it.
Yeah,
well,
they do.
Until they watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it takes pains. So
I don't remember that part of the movie. But it was good. I mean, I put it 3 stars. It came out, I think, this weekend as well. It debuted at Cannes. So, yeah, pretty light week for me. Still, we watched 1 episode of The Sopranos. So I think we're like 10 or 9 away from the finale, but just gonna have to speed it up a little bit this next week. But that's what I watched. Yeah.
Not bad.
Sorry, I threw everyone off the rhythm.
No, you're good. All right. So for May the 4th, let's just quickly do our top 5 Star Wars movies, and then we'll get back to the news because I like to just do a little controversy sprinkle in there real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well, you're gonna get me all riled up for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want that because I think we're gonna do a lot of talk about Thunderbolts. So I'm just we're speeding. We don't have a lot of news this week, so I'm just adding some extra stuff in there to sprinkle it in. But yeah, happy May the 4th to all who celebrate. So big time. I am not one of those people anymore. I think I've been kicked out of the club, but that's okay.
I want to say something about Star Wars just before we get into this. I think, I feel like my relationship is complicated, and we've said this a billion times. But when it comes down to the main movies,
yeah.
And when I say main, I'm kind of not. I haven't seen Solo, so I can't really speak to that. And I'm also kind of leaving out Rogue One, but in terms of all 9 of just the 3 trilogies combined, there's I don't know, 3 movies I don't love, but I think there's really only 1 that's it has no rewatch value, and I think that's The Rise of Skywalker. I think the rest of them
Jedi,
are no, okay.
Sorry.
Well, no. You. I thought I I thought I made an error, and then I very quickly came to the realization that you're just trying to pick a fight with Hunter.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think all of them are have some rewatch value. Even the Phantom Menace.
Not gonna get beaten.
I'm just saying, but I don't know. I don't think just because I don't watch the shows, I don't think it necessarily means that I dislike Star Wars. I think I'm just kind of I wish they would go in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I'm on the level that you're at, Hunter.
No, you are. You are on the path, my Padawan. You are coming down the path, and you are gonna see the light soon enough.
But what if they just throw out the Mandalorian and Grogu, and I just start drinking the Kool-Aid again?
Listen, that might happen. All right, you might be chugging blue milk before I know it. Okay, but at this point, I think that you're on the path that I am on. Okay.
Well, I guess only time will tell.
Yeah.
And with that, Hunter, why don't you start us off?
I'm
with
happy
super hot top 5.
Do you want to alternate, or we want to just go 5? I'll just go 5 through 1. I'll go 5 through 1. So okay.
Yeah.
At number 5, I have Star Wars, the one that started it all. The original Star Wars, I gave 1977. At number 4, I have Solo, a Star Wars story. That's at my 4th spot. I'm sorry. Did I say this was your list, or is this my list? Is this my list or your list?
Dear.
At number 3, I have Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Get him out of here.
At number 2,
take his mic away.
At number 2, I have The Empire Strikes Back, and at number 1, I have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's my list.
That's a hot list.
It is a hot list.
You know what? That's what I like. I like that, because I'm going to read off mine, and you guys are going to be like, man, this guy is boring. He's just like everyone else, and he chooses the same movies. This guy is right.
That's what he's talking about.
Charlie, do you kind of want to like pick it at some of the things that Hunter said, or are we just gonna say like the 1 through 5?
If you notice a theme in my list, though, it's all the Star Wars movies that do something different are in my top 5. I'd like to, I'm just saying.
Almost like a movie we're gonna review later. It's like it's kind of different.
That's pretty fantastic.
What?
No, I'm not gonna pick on Hunter. We'd be here all day. My 5 at number 5, we actually share the same one, A New Hope. How about that? That's the only.
Look at that.
Oh, it's not the only one we share actually. Number 4, Rogue One.
Look at that.
Good take, Hunter.
Thank
Number 3, Revenge of the Sith.
I like that.
Number 2, The Empire Strikes Back. Number 1, Return of the Jedi.
Okay, interesting. I remember you liking that one more than the rest of us.
Yeah,
which is good. No, I feel like there's like some of the best like at least Star Wars moments like are from that one. I just don't remember the entire movie as a whole being as strong.
Well, I think a lot of people, their problem with this movie is the Ewoks. I think they irk a lot of people. I kind of love the Ewoks, so
yeah, they're kind of like Paddington, but just like Star Wars Paddingtons. If you think about it, yeah. For my 5, I mean, it's unfortunately it feels very generic, but at number 5 I have The Force Awakens. I feel like it's good. I feel like it is almost like we've said this a million times, but it feels very much like A New Hope, but just like updated visuals and some
They're
new
going
characters.
to Star Killer Base. It has nothing to do with the Death Star. They did it again.
See, it's just like I don't know. It feels like it's just more of the same, but I think the updated visuals for me just make it so much easier to rewatch. So that's why I got that at number 5. Then I got Return of the Jedi at 4, New Hope at 3, Revenge of the Sith at 2, and then Empire Strikes Back at 1. Empire Strikes Back just rocks through and through. Yeah, that's all I got.
It's pretty good stuff.
And then let me remind you though, I haven't seen Rogue One like recently. Like I think the last time I watched it was literally in theaters. I do remember like really liking it, so I think it has a chance to be in my top 5. But then The Last Jedi is at number 6 for me. So I mean I give it 3.5 stars.
It's happening, Charles. I'm telling you, he's on the path.
It's 6 out of 10, Hunter.
He's on the path.
I have it as like a 7 out of 10. I we've talked about this 1,000 times. I think there's parts of that movie that I don't like, but then I think there's just some like the Red Room fight is just up there with some of the best, like one of the best fights in all of Star Wars. So
yes, sir.
And it set up a great opportunity for them to just nail it home with that third movie, and it was just like, oh.
Yeah, because all of the losers out there who complained, they changed it.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
But you know what? That's what makes Star Wars so special. All right, we're allowed to all have our own opinions about that big galaxy far, far away.
All the contention. That's what makes this special.
Yes, that's what everyone loves about fandoms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right. Are you ready for the breaking news? All right, breaking news out of the White House. We're gonna get a little political here, folks. Folks, put on your democracy caps. President Trump is ordering the U.S. Trade Representative and Commerce Department to begin the process to impose a 100% tariff on imports of movies that are produced in quote-unquote foreign lands. Trump called it a national security threat, and he is having one of his ambassadors, John Voight, devising a plan to save Hollywood. He said that we want more movies made in America. That's all the information we have as of now. So what does that mean? I don't know. What I do know is that a lot of stuff is filmed overseas. So what is that? Does that count as production over there? Or is it like production companies here? Like, what are we tariffing?
I I mean, does it mean like the Parasite Steelbook is going to be like 5 times the value now?
Yeah, so, but like
Is that what
that's the
we're
question.
talking about?
Is it? But also, Avengers.
I need to buy it now.
Hang on, a great example. Avengers: Doomsday right now is filming in London. Does that mean Avengers is going to be taxed?
Boy, we're gonna feel that pinch in the box office.
I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Is Hunter frozen for you too, Charlie?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. He looks so. Oh my goodness, look at him. He just looks so pumped to just talk about this topic, and I feel like we just like hit pause for a second. Yeah, I don't really know what I mean, sure, I think Hollywood's having some tough times, and I think some big celebrities have come out to talk about it and say, hey, no wonder people are going to Europe or going to Asia to go film these movies because it's cheaper over there. You know, there's like, especially people are moving from Hollywood to like Atlanta or New Jersey because there's tax credits involved, and it's so expensive to make a movie in California these days. So Hunter will be back momentarily.
Hunter's having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I understand wanting to bring Hollywood back, but I just don't really know if that's the way that we should be going about. There's so many good foreign films that like come out each year, and I just feel like it's just.
I mean,
I'm not trying to get political, but it's just like it's frustrating.
I'll try to take like a purely economic stance on it. I mean,
yeah,
the whole point he would want this is like obviously to raise more revenue for the U.S.
Yeah. No, totally understand that.
I mean, that's the point of tariffs, to like force production in the U.S. But like, I just think in this kind of instance, that would do so little in the grand scheme of things of like fixing, U.S. production. I mean, I feel like the movie industry, like filming, would be so minute or in the grand scheme of like U.S. revenue.
Whoa!
So it's just like a weird battle. It's like a weird battle.
Dude, the FBI was listening to me. That's why they booted me off the Wi-Fi. I said one bad thing about the government. They got me off the Wi-Fi. Oh my god!
They said, "All right, yeah, let's take this guy out."
Well, take him out, please. Please.
No, we were just saying, Hunter. Like looking at purely from an economic standpoint, the whole reason would be to bring more revenue in the U.S. Like that's the whole point.
No,
of tariffs.
100% agree. Yeah.
But this is such like a trivial way to like stack or plaster tariff.
And then, well, also okay, because here's the thing, right? Is the tariff applied to streaming services in the same way? Because obviously their revenue sharing platform is a little very different than a theater, right? Where you get the revenue directly from the theater system. But on a platform like Netflix, is it taxed based on the minutes that are watched, or are these platforms exempt, which is just going to hurt the theater going experience even more? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like a movie like Mission Impossible, right, where it goes all over the world to film, and there's also scenes set in the U.S. Is that something that's taxed differently or tariffed differently because it's that, or is it because it's a U.S. production? Is it exempt?
Also, filming somewhere else is that even that expensive?
It's cheaper to film. Well, here's the truth of it.
It is?
Yes. So the big issue that's happening a lot, specifically with TV shows, we see it more often than movies, is that filming other places is cheaper than filming in Los Angeles or anywhere really in America. So like a great example of it is there's a podcast episode with Jason Bateman and Rob Lowe. And Rob Lowe hosts that show that's on Fox. It's like The Floor.
I watched
that.
Game
show. Yeah. And Rob Lowe is basically like, it's cheaper to fly everyone there and film there than it is to just have them come to a studio in Los Angeles. And like for stuff like that, it's like, all right, how can we kind of bring production back to America? I guess if that's your plan, like figure out a way to do that. But taxing movies that are just like filmed in other places is going to be really weird. Also, like if you have a movie where it's like set somewhere else, but it's an American production, like but also, you know what? It's a tweet. Like, is it going to happen? Who knows? What is it going to finally be when it's real? Who knows? Like, it's just so weird that it's even a thing.
Yeah.
And also, it's going to end up being? It's going to end up being we get way more green screen. That's all it's going to be. Yeah. Because if you want to film in the Amalfi Coast, but you have to be in America or else you get a 100% tariff, we're going to be on that goddamn volume with a fake Amalfi Coast behind you.
are you talking about, dude? It looks just the same.
Yeah, it looks just the same. It's going to be like, I'm on an elevator in Paris. It's going to look like all the movies are going to look like that now.
Well, we will keep everyone updated on this
Yeah.
tweet. But on a lighter note,
That's it. I'm getting into Congress to stop this. Call me Bucky Barnes, the way I'm joining Congress.
I forgot to share this with the listeners, but I got something very incredible in the mail this week, and it is my B movie Steelbook. It is a Canadian special edition. It is
Wait, Canadian a special edition?
I mean, it has it in. I think that's French.
That's it. Tariff him now.
But I gotta say,
officer, right here.
Officer, this guy.
It's kind of fantastic. You know, it's got Barry B. Benson just chilling. Come on, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. I saw this and I said, this is just an all-time classic for me, and I felt like it was
be any cooler?
Necessary. Yeah, I mean, also just the total crash out from Vanessa leaving her boyfriend for this bee is totally valid. And,
Vanessa, don't
it's
leave
quite
me for
possibly
the bee, Vanessa.
It's peak cinema. If you haven't seen the Bee movie, check it out.
We were interrupting him that whole time with stupid quotes.
I know.
Well, he was
Vanessa, don't leave me. Don't leave me for the bee, Vanessa. When I was a boy,
that's quite cool though, Jack.
When I was a boy, I was stung.
Thank you.
It is very cool. I do like that
Thank
a
you.
lot. I know. I really haven't gotten into like the importing of steelbooks, so maybe I should start to join that.
You might want to hammer that real quick.
Yeah,
Before
it's
too
too
late.
late. Yeah.
What do you got next for us, Hunter?
Oh, I got a good one. How about Rapture, a medieval zombie horror movie starring Will Poulter, Kit Connor, set in 1349. They are a group of monks as a plague turns a deadly restless reservists. It's in medieval England, which honestly, zombies versus like knights sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
That sounds pretty sweet. All right. It sounds real cool.
Bringing back some of the fellows from Warfare, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just make it a zombies and knights movie."
Yeah,
let's do that.
I'm very in on that.
That's
So,
awesome.
It sounds
Is that all the details we have on that?
so far? Yeah,
Okay.
it's starting. I think starting production relatively soon, but yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's sick.
It's based on. It'll be the directorial debut of a playwright, which is cool. So yeah. Next up is a Miami Vice reboot from Top Gun Maverick's director Joseph Kosinski. So this will be his follow-up to not only Top Gun Maverick but F1, which comes out this summer. He is doing Miami Vice. It'll be Dan Gilroy writing the script, which, looking at Dan Gilroy's filmography, he has written things like Andor, Velvet Chainsaw, Kong Skull Island, Nightcrawler, and Real Steel. He helped with the story on.
Ooh, Real Steel. Banger.
Yep.
Banger.
Banger.
So yeah, I think this will be very cool. I think this should be set in the 80s though. Keep it to the OG show.
I haven't seen the show or the Michael Mann movie.
A lot of Phil Collins.
Really? That's pretty dope.
Yeah. If you ever if you want the vibe of it, go look up Miami Vice, Phil Collins, and there's like a scene of them just driving for like the whole duration of a Phil Collins song. It's for the In the Air Tonight. They literally just drive the entire duration of the song. It's awesome. And they go through like actually, Charles, this is a great callback to our earlier conversation about GTA. Remember GTA Vice City?
no,
Okay.
He didn't play 30 hours or 30 days of that one.
nope, just GTA 5.
Okay. Well, GTA Vice City is basically Miami Vice.
Ah.
It's like all the neon and old school and by the beach. So, but yeah, that is coming relatively soon. So that'd be cool. That'd be his follow-up.
Fire.
Next up is something we've talked about a lot that Charles never remembers, and that is Sergeant Rock. The Sergeant Rock movie from DC Studios is canceled? Question mark?
We have not
Question?
talked about that.
Question mark? Canceled?
Charlie, you don't remember us talking about Sergeant Rock at all? I don't know if you're
Again?
serious or not.
No, we did. We did.
Okay, good. Sorry. I just couldn't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I don't know if you are.
Charles, tell me one thing about Sergeant Rock that we've talked about at least 6 times on this podcast.
Give me one of the potential actors that they tried to get for him.
Oh, no, they already remember the cast him on our last piece of news.
I got it.
Yeah, who's directing this, Charles? Who's directing this?
James Gunn.
This guy, dude.
Is it DC?
He doesn't even listen to his own podcast. No, it's Luca Guadagnino's DC Sergeant Rock and Colin Farrell was supposed to play.
That was my
Sergeant
second
Rock.
guess.
Remember, Daniel Craig was supposed to be him originally, and then they had to pivot.
I just think this is one of those things that I'm never going to remember.
Okay.
It's okay because it probably is never going to happen. So you're good now. Because we're supposed to start filming this summer and it's not going to happen.
What
You're
I
saying
hope
maybe next
happened
summer, so.
is that they sat down and they're like, you know what, guys, we got to figure out this Sergeant Rock business. And then they're like, wait, guys, we don't even have the Batman Part 2 figured out yet. And they're like, you know what, we should probably prioritize that first. And then they're like, yeah, let's do that. And then they ended their meeting and they went on their way. And that's exactly what happened. I actually had I got a voice recording of the meeting. So
How'd you do that?
How'd you get on it?
How'd you do that?
Yeah.
I
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Sergeant
a very
Rock.
interesting. I also do think it's like, all right, if you're going to build this universe, I think maybe we need to get to the building of it before we get to the weird stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking at the next piece of news. The website changed on me. So the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is expected to wrap up filming 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So he's flying through production on this. It is filming in Italy, so expect that 100% tariff coming to The Odyssey. But yeah, they're going to do a little bit more production in either Iceland or Scotland, I guess, for some other exterior, whatever kind of shots they need. But yeah, so honestly, pretty impressive that he's wrapped early on that. It's like his blank check movie, and he's like, you know what? I'm good. I finished it.
Not his first time. Hunter. Not his first time.
No, he finished Oppenheimer early as well.
So that's a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's all about business.
He's a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He does business.
Just like
That's like super. So Oppenheimer wrapped in 57 days, despite it was supposed to film for 85 days. And I believe it was due to budget constraints where like they wanted to cut something and they wouldn't fund something that he wanted to have built practically. So he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut the filming dates so we save money and we can actually build it, which is kind of cool.
Stud.
Yeah, he's the best.
My goat.
All right, last piece of news that is not Marvel related is Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock are reteaming for an untitled romantic thriller at Amazon MGM Studios. So they're back. They were in Speed in 1994, very famously, and then also they were in The Lake House in 2006. But Speed, I think, is probably the best known thing that they're in together. And Speed also rocks. If you haven't seen Speed, I recommend. Jan de Bont's goated movie Speed.
Yeah, it's not speaking to me, but
You ever seen Speed?
no. I have not seen Speed. I have not. But what you just described, I'm not. Maybe if I see Speed, maybe I'd feel about it, you know? I don't know. I love Keanu Reeves, but then just like seeing him like, I don't know. I'm not a big Sandra Bullock fan either, you know?
Yeah, hey, that's
I respect her work, you know? Like what, The Blind Side, is she in Gravity? Or no?
You named two Sandra Bullock things right there?
Look at me go. What else is she in?
Miss Congeniality, Ocean's 8,
I haven't seen that.
The Proposal.
Oh, Ocean's 8's like by far the worst Ocean's.
2
of
Weeks
all time.
Notice was pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's all I can name. So I think we should probably stop there. Respect her work though. Bird Box, okay, that was kind of goated in like high school. I thought that was like the greatest movie of all time. Haven't seen it since.
Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous. Oh, there was the Witches one. What was that one called?
The Witches.
What was the Witches one? Oh, Practical Magic. Remember they're making a sequel to Practical Magic? That's coming out soon. She's in Bullet Train, one of the goated movies according to this
Yes,
podcast.
she was in Bullet Train. That's
actually her last acting role, if you were curious.
Did we get The Blind Side?
We did say The Blind Side.
Yes. Yeah.
So Sandra Bullock back, like she never left. All right, let's move on to. You know what? We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna save all the Marvel news for before we talk Thunderbolts, and we're gonna move the trailers up. Does that work with you guys?
I like that.
You
I like that.
maniac.
I'm a little crazy right now. All right, I'm off.
Let's give this guy a raise. Let's give this guy a raise.
All right. The FBI tried to attack me. I stopped them. We're back. I'm ready to talk I'm ready to talk the weapons. All right, let's talk weapons. I got a little nerd nugget for this movie before we talk about the trailer.
Yes, it's
Charles,
a good one.
Want to play the nerd nugget sound? Nice.
I don't know.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one. So weapons. It is the upcoming movie written, produced, and directed by Zach Krieger. The nerd nugget is that Jordan Peele wanted this movie so bad to produce that it went to like a big bidding war to get this movie, and he didn't get it. And he was so mad that he didn't get it. He fired his agents and his entire representation company because he was so mad that he didn't get to produce this movie. So I'm going to call that this movie is going to be absolute heat. I'm feeling very positive about what this movie is about to be.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I saw that, and then the trailer itself is just like, Josh Brolin, Julia Gardner. I mean, it's gonna be
Benedict.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I mean, I know Charlie already bought his tickets. He's seated. This is gonna be.
This is one you have to. This is a horror movie you have to see, Charles. I'm sorry. This is the one we're gonna have to. We have to vote as a podcast. This is the one you got to see.
No, he's got to see Sinners first.
Sinners is not a horror movie, I don't think.
There's like
spooky, but that's
I agree. I think there's I think people are classifying it as like a horror movie, like
I guess,
or at least like the genre that it's been put into. I think most people are categorizing it as horror, but I agree. I wouldn't say it's like a true horror movie where it's just like entire purpose is to freak you out. Like I think Weapons, I'm gonna leave from that and be like, yeah, I need to go to church.
Yeah, I think Weapons would be like, I gotta wash my hands.
Yeah.
So Charles, did you watch the trailer? Did you watch the trailer at least, Charles?
I watched the one last week, but it was who started?
But this is the longer full trailer with.
Yeah, the one last week didn't give us much.
So the whole idea of this one is that one day these kids go missing, and they're all from like in the middle of the night. All these kids left their house and they've gone missing, and all of these kids are from the same class. And it's Julia Gardner who is the teacher, and it's her class. And there's like a part of the trailer where Josh Brolin is like screaming at her, and it's like, why are they all from her class? She has to have, be a part of this in some way. Dude, it's just like, it's so freaky. Like the fact that these are all like kindergartners or something like that too. And they're just like, skipping down the street or like running down the street is just, I don't know why. It's just terrifying. And then the Jordan Peele stuff is just like, icing on the cake. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, easy icing on the cake.
Yeah, if Jordan Peele approves, I'm in.
Also, I really liked Zach Krieger's directorial debut, which was his like big directorial debut was last year or 2 years ago, Barbarian. That was great.
Yeah.
Barbarian was great.
Oh, isn't that one terrifying?
Detroit
freaky movie.
So big.
It's like the biggest. It fully like shows what Detroit is in one movie. It's insane.
Pause.
Like Detroit feels like its own character.
Assault. Justin Long would never step foot in my beautiful city. That little freak.
Hey guys.
That guy stinks. Not Justin Long in real life. Justin Long come on the podcast. Justin Long in that movie though, that guy stinks.
Yeah, that guy does stink. I agree.
Not you, Justin Long. Real life, Justin Long. We're big fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, now the trailer that Charles is probably most excited for. Now you see me. Now you don't.
I think this looked like a blast.
I know. I saw this and I was like, Charles is so pumped. Charles saw that tagline. It said from the director of Uncharted, Zombieland, and what was the other one? Venom. And he's like, yeah, baby. Oh man.
Never been more bad.
Yeah.
It's also got Dominic. Is it Dominic Sessa?
Sessa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who just got casted as
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't even know what's
No.
happening.
I would have gotten. I wouldn't have gotten the name, but I would have gotten like the biopic. I would have
This
known.
guy doesn't know what's
good.
going on.
What else did you like about it, Chuck?
I just thought it looked fun. There's not much like tangibly that I liked about it. I just watched the trailer. I thought it was like an interesting idea. Actually, I haven't seen Now You See Me 2, and I don't think I actually finished Now You See Me 1.
Bro is going off vibes. He's like, yeah.
He just saw it from the director of Uncharted. And he's like, yeah, I'm in on this.
The intangibles, fellas.
He saw the card scene on TikTok, and it's just flying around. He's like, yeah, I'd like that movie.
Yeah, I can get into this.
The intangibles were off the charts.
Yeah. I also love the idea in this entire franchise that like they pretend that they're like magicians on like a scale like in our universe, but they're just actually magic. Like they just have magical powers. The best one too is when he pulls up the sheet, and then Dave Franco's behind it, and he's like,
yeah,
what are you doing here?
Hey.
Like, dude, you did the trick. What do you mean? Like, how did you not know?
Where did you go?
It's like, I just teleported. I think that was it's so fun. Also, this is just such a perfect like Jesse Eisenberg role. He is just like so, oh man, I love it. I love Jesse Eisenberg here. It's just this whole franchise is just the biggest laughing that I love.
Agreed.
Never forget Mark Ruffalo. And then you remember, hey Charles, you're such a big fan. Do you remember the big joke in the second movie about why the villain was who the villain was?
Nope.
Jack, do you know
Dude,
this?
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
They made Daniel
since,
Radcliffe the villain in the second Now You See Me movie. So that it was like, oh, Harry Potter is the villain in a magic movie. That was a big marketing push back in 2015.
Yeah, I completely forgot he was in that second
when
movie.
Chuck was playing GTA, I was really gearing up my Now You See Me marketing strategies.
5 years before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the trailers that came out this week, I think I was least excited for this one.
But
and
seeing
I think
it
that
twice
just
to
tells
watch
you.
Thunderbolts, I was like, all right.
I didn't see it. They didn't play it for my.
They played
also
it both
didn't see
times
it.
in my Thunderbolts. Did
Really?
they play the Superman trailer in front of your Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
See, they didn't play it in front of mine, which was interesting. Did you guys see it in IMAX? Did you see Thunderbolts in IMAX?
Dolby.
Okay. Jack,
No, I saw. Dude, I'm as much as I'd love to drive to Indy for it, the Bloomington AMC. It wasn't even on the biggest screen again, and I was just like, bro, let me see these movies on the biggest screen in your theater. I'm tired of the Minecraft movie and all this bull crap. Dude,
I'm Steve.
I really hope that Sinners got one of those big screens, but I highly doubt they did because they're like, oh yeah, we have the Minecraft block party. It's coming. Yeah, more money. Yeah, no.
It's cracking $1 billion.
Stop it.
It's going to do it.
I don't think it will.
I learned something very interesting this weekend that, I think every once in a while we get very hyped up in the movie sphere. How much money do you think Sinners has made at the international box office as of today?
Okay.
Don't look it up.
90?
Hold up.
Don't look it up.
I'm gonna go 60.
Okay, so you're both really off. It has made so Sinners has made $236 million worldwide so far. It's made 179 of that in America, so domestically, which is actually going to be on pace for one of the biggest domestic R-rated movies ever. Won't crack the number one spot. I think that's still Passion of the Christ. It probably will be forever. But yeah, Sinners is doing quite well at the box office. But like,
wait. Yeah, you said international. So like, if I said 60, then I'd be like dead on, right?
Apologies for if there was confusion. Yes, it is 57 million international. I meant in totality, but that's
global.
That's my bad for poor question.
Sorry,
wording. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the movie's been talked about so much, and like all the premium screen stuff. I was like, wow, I'm surprised it hasn't hit 400 million. Thunderbolts came out this weekend, and I'm not trying to compare the two, obviously, because it's like Marvel and an original R-rated movie, but still, like 162 worldwide is, I don't know. I thought Sinners was just so much more, which it deserves to be a lot more. But like a Minecraft movie might not crack the bill because I'm looking at it. Last week we talked about it. It was 800. It's at 873 this week and only going down.
When's the block party?
I think it happened this weekend.
Well, we haven't gotten this weekend's numbers.
They do like a projection. I'm gonna go with the block party is not helping in the same way that you thought it would.
Dang it!
It's okay. It's okay.
I gotta say though, it is cool to have. I feel like so many, at least like the Thunderbolts and then like Sinners as well, like two movies. I feel like that are at least performing well at the box office right now. But I think the word of mouth for both of these movies has been great. I think that the way that people are speaking of both of these movies has been like very highly, and I would, only expect Sinners. Sinners is getting another run of IMAX once Thunderbolts leaves. I think it's like 2
only
weeks from now.
Only the 70 millimeter locations though.
Yeah. But
actually, it broke AMC's site and sold out like immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that movie is doing well, and I think it's going to continue to do well because I'm still talking to people who are like, yeah, I haven't seen it, but I really want to go see it. Like as soon as I finish, blah blah blah. Like I'm gonna like. Obviously, that doesn't mean that the entire population is thinking like that, but got a pretty good feeling.
There you go. All right, let's get to the last trailer and the one that I think is going to be the biggest conversation, and that is The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, directed and written by Benny Safdie. It is the true life story of Mark Kerr, a UFC mixed martial artist, and this is the Rock Oscar movie, baby. He is shockingly unrecognizable. Like you can tell it's The Rock, but like it doesn't look like him. With the prosthetics and the face, just the hair and everything. I hate to bring comic movies back into it, but it is so funny. He wanted to make Black Adam for like 2 decades, and he wouldn't put the wig on or the ears on, and then with this, he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing the makeup and the hair." But this trailer looked awesome. I liked the tone here. Emily Blunt continues to just be incredible in everything she's in. I'm so in on this.
Yeah, me too. I'm like so pumped for him for this, and I think the change in appearance was necessary. Like, I'm so pumped to see The Rock in this role. I know he's gonna crush it, but I think just his reputation in other movies, I think it was, even if it wasn't to portray this other individual, I think they would still need to like change his appearance up slightly, just because it is The Rock. And I think for some people to really like fully invest in this movie, they would need to like see an adjustment of appearance just based on the fact we saw him in Red 1 less than a year ago.
Yes. Also, it's really interesting too with like the Safdie brothers. Obviously, they made Uncut Gems together. They worked together up until Uncut Gems, and then they kind of had like a splitting up. And I don't know exactly why they split up, but they both have A24 movies coming out this year. With obviously this one, and then Josh Safdie is making Marty Supreme, the Timothée Chalamet ping pong movie. And so, I mean, this could just be a very talented brother separation we might get, where they just keep pushing each other to make better movies, which would be pretty awesome.
I like that.
Charles, are you in on this one?
Very in. This was my favorite trailer by far.
Yeah.
By far. I didn't even recognize The Rock's voice really that much.
Yes.
I feel like he has the same voice in every movie. And in this movie, like
it actually was a pretty transformative role.
Yeah.
I am interested to see how they switch up this story, though, to like what makes it stand out. And obviously I know that The Rock's performance is gonna really, jump out to a lot of people, but like we've all seen tales of obsession and individuals that have been pushed too far. How are they going? Are they going to continue, a similar narrative that we've seen before? Are they going to take it a different route? So I'm excited to see what they do with this. And I feel like, the Safdie brothers have always been, a pair that have tried to like, defy the norm, and they've tried to do something different. So I would only expect them to.
I mean, think of what they did with Adam Sandler. Like Adam Sandler was close to an Oscar nom with Uncut Gems and probably should have gotten it. And I think the biggest thing there was the marketing push behind getting Adam Sandler. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, all these awards are marketing. the marketing for Adam Sandler wasn't good enough to get him the award. The Rock is the king of marketing. If he is even close to being in contention, he will get himself an award because he will do every single press junk that he will make. He will send them all bottles of Terramana tequila. Like he'll do everything he can to get this.
It'll be like the Black Adam tweet. It'll be like, "Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. You would have loved Black Adam." And it's just like, what?
Yeah.
That's like one of my all-time favorite tweets. Just that's him and Vin Diesel just have zero shame in promoting their movies, and honestly, you gotta love it.
Pause. Hang on. You know it's a fake tweet, right?
Which one? The Black Adam one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was real.
No, he got duped. He got duped by the internet.
Dude, I thought it was real.
God, I can't believe you thought it was real, Jack.
No.
I mean, to be honest, it was also like 4 years ago, and I haven't it just snapped into my head, so I wasn't like.
No, but that's the best part of it. It is believable. It is believable.
Yeah, I mean,
I also thought it was real.
I apologize. I apologize for spreading misinformation. I don't like spreading misinformation. I just remember giggling so hard at that. But whoever made that, shout out you.
Speaking of, should we check what Vin Diesel's up to on Instagram right now?
But we can all agree though that Vin Diesel does say just like the craziest thing you've ever heard, and it's a real tweet.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
LA is on fire, but we must bring the Fast and Furious movies back to LA.
Yeah. Vin Diesel will not get tariffed because he's bringing the film back to LA. Don't forget.
It's gonna cost him $1 billion.
Okay, let's see. Vin Diesel's most recent post is from 12 hours ago. Happy creative, loving your fan art. Haha. I was filming in Anglia, Morocco. Great cast, great crew, great country, blessed and grateful. And then he posted also yesterday just him in a For Paul shirt that says Legacy. So Vin Diesel,
Hunter, you have to start your campaign of just tweeting at Vin Diesel every single day until he recognizes the pod.
Yeah, I think if we just did a Vin Diesel episode, I think he might come on just to hype himself up some more.
So you do X, I guess maybe throw one of the Guardians of the Galaxy in there just because I feel like that's you don't really see his face, but
yeah, we should just become big Groot guys. Be like, Vin, come on the pod, Vin. We all really liked you in all your movies. The pacifier one was good too.
Bro, that was gas. That's an all-time classic.
What was the song he sings at the end to jump around? Remember that? He's gotta get through the maze at the end. What was that song?
I know what you're talking about. He's gotta jump through the lasers and stuff in the basement.
I always think it's Dream, but that is not from that movie. That's from
that's a Spike. Oh yeah. I was about to say Spy Kids, bro.
Dream.
Wow,
he looks so young in the pacifier. I'm looking at it right now. He looks so young here. Also, he's just Dom Toretto in this movie. He's just wearing a white T-shirt. He's just Dom Toretto again. When did he make this? What was that in between? Let me see. Sorry, we're going out of Vin. See, this is what Vin Diesel does to us. He makes us go down Vin Diesel rabbit holes. All right, so okay, let me read you the Vin Diesel legacy here. So he did the Fast and Furious, then he did XXX, where he was Xander Cage. He did the Chronicles of Riddick, and he followed up the Chronicles of Riddick with the Pacifier, and then went to Tokyo Drift. This guy rocks. This guy is awesome.
Yeah, Vin Diesel. Give me his Oscar moment.
Where was the one where he was in the courtroom? What was that called? And he actually did a serious performance. Is that the Boiler Room? I guess. No, I don't know. There's one where he gives a serious performance, and I can't. I want to figure it out. And apparently he's good at it.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
We'll figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna let you all know when I figure it out. Is it knock around, guys? This is bad podcasting right now. I apologize. We're really just talking while we're thinking about things. All right, let's get into the Marvel news. So let's start with the Deadpool of it all. So Ryan Reynolds is in early stages of exploring a Deadpool and X-Men movie. In other news, water is wet and we breathe air. No kidding, buddy. You made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either, but I don't know why he's just not in these other things.
I mean, I don't think they put his name for Doomsday. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he has to be. I mean, if they're going to bring everyone together, like, I feel like he has to be in this movie.
I think he's got to be. I almost feel like it'd be weird if he was left out because it's like, hey,
yeah,
the whole last movie was like, welcome to the MCU, buddy.
And then we found out he didn't go to the MCU.
Yeah.
But he just stayed where he was, and he's like, I'm actually pretty content here with my
like the Fox
family.
Universe. Yeah.
And my knockoff Wolverine.
Yeah, my other Wolverine.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah. So yeah, Reynolds is doing that. So cool, buddy. Hey, cool. We'll see you there. Charles, what you typing over there, pal?
I was thinking about it. I wasn't typing. I typed like a minute ago, but we're on the Marvel kind of news. We've been on a good bad back and forth on movies for a very long time, and just because of the pattern, I'm a little worried about Fantastic Four.
Do you want me to tell you why? Because it ties to our next piece of news.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you. So a new report came out from the Hollywood Reporter earlier today, actually, that Kevin Feige has been spread so thin that in the early 2020s, so the first couple of years after Endgame, he was so spread thin that people wouldn't hear back from him for weeks. And some of the only times they could even catch him to have conversations with him was in the hallway in between other meetings. Which is why a lot of times I guess there'd be creative decisions that went into place that he would have said no to, or he tried to stop, but it was too late because he just was too slow on the draw to get there because he was spread so thin. And then now the new plan going forward is to have less overall things happening and focus more on quality and interconnectedness like the early days of the MCU, which is like, buddy, way to listen. So yeah, maybe that answers your question there, Charles.
It does. Thanks. Except they're coming out 3 Marvel movies this year.
Well,
I feel like they took their time on those, though, at least in my mind. I feel like they all were supposed to – I mean, obviously the strike pushed them back significantly, but I think that they never felt rushed in, bringing these movies out. And they said, hey, we're going to take our time and make sure we have a good product with it before – like Blade. I think there was a chance like Blade – I think people would have went to go see Blade whether it was good or not, but – I applaud them for saying, hey, I don't think what we have here with Blade right now is the best. So let's take a step back and reevaluate our options. So, and I feel like these movies were like a long time coming. I mean, especially the Thunderbolts. I want to say I heard like the first news about it, maybe late 2022, early 2023. Like, I feel like we heard about it a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean the strike did delay a lot of stuff, so that does help them. But Charles, let me sell you this. If you were so concerned about 3 movies in 1 year, let me take you back to 2017, where we had Guardians 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Thor: Ragnarok. Would you say that was a bad year?
No.
All right, let me take you to 2018, Black Panther: Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No.
All right, 2019, Captain Marvel, Avengers: Endgame, and Spider-Man: Far From Home. All right, I'll give you one. Let me give you one more. 2021.
You don't want to go one more.
I want to go one more. 2021.
2021. You do not want to go one more.
No, honestly, I'm listening. I'm hearing him out. I think he has a good point here.
Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Only one miss there.
Black Widow. Oh, see, I rewatched Black Widow and I thought it was pretty good.
But you're gonna say Eternals is a misfire compared to Black Widow?
I would say
I think that's a 50% hit rate, and I think No Way Home is carried by the cameos.
The cameos for the Eternals?
No Way Home.
Oh, I haven't watched.
It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but objectively, it is carried by the cameos.
I'm terrified to watch it because
I disagree. Big disagree.
You're a Spider-Man head.
The cameos don't come in until the end, and they're not in it for very long.
I mean, like, Alfred Molina is basically like, I mean, Doc Ock, like Green Goblin, like I would consider them to be I mean, they're not cameos, but they are characters in the story. But I feel like seeing them again significantly increases your appreciation for that movie, as to where if they threw in, they're like, oh, let's throw in the chameleon, like everyone's not gonna be like, whoa.
If you rewatch that, you literally are just thinking the whole time, like, all right, can't wait for the Spideys to show up. Can't wait for the villains to show up. Like, the beginning of that movie is, it's forgettable because you only care about the cameos.
So I think the biggest issue is this of the TV shows. When you have those coming out simultaneously, it distracts from all the other stuff. So like, let's just look at 2024. All right, 2024. Echo came out. Yes. X-Men 97, Deadpool Wolverine, Agatha All Along, and that was it for the MCU. There's other ones, and then What If Season 3. So I mean, all things considered, I would say not the heaviest year, right? But then let me go back to here's 2022. Let me take you to 2022. I think I'm still scrolling. All right, so 2022 was Thor: Love and Thunder, I Am Groot, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Werewolf by Night, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. And then early 2023, we had Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians 3, Across the Spider. Well, that's not going to count. Remember Secret Invasion? Remember that happened? I don't. Loki Season 2, The Marvels, What If. You know what's actually crazy? I remember more of Echo than I do Secret Invasion. That's wild.
I didn't even watch Secret Invasion.
I didn't either.
I think I was at camp when that came out. I was doing something. No, it was 2023, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was interning when that came out.
Yeah, June 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's asking.
I think that there is a bit too much stuff.
And I think looking back on past years, it's very easy to get focused on, what wasn't good and then looking back and saying, hey, I think each year, I still think we got something that was really solid. Maybe it skipped 1 year. And everyone is asking the question and saying, is Marvel back? I think we're going to get to it after we talk about the Thunderbolts. In my opinion, yes. I don't think they went anywhere. I think that while they may have had some misfires, I think that people's interest in Marvel as a whole, and I think the box office is a great example of that. Like, I don't know, Captain America definitely didn't kill the box office like they expected it to, but they still brought in a lot of money. And Captain America was not a good movie. Captain America was a poorly written,
big swing and
it was not well done, especially for Anthony Mackie's character, who everyone wanted to see do so well. It was not a well-written story, and it still, I think, did, it wasn't like a complete failure at the box office. It definitely didn't do as well as they would have hoped, but I think the Thunderbolts has a lot better shot of succeeding because everyone's word of mouth. Everyone's like, this movie is good. This is one of Marvel's best, while it doesn't have the Captain America logo slapped onto it. And that's why I think it's taking a little bit for the box office to get there, even though it did well this last week. I think that the MCU is in a good spot.
100% agree.
100%.
Sorry. No, we'll get there. I do think the perfect schedule, though, for the MCU is to do 3 movie releases. You have a May, you have a summer in either June or July, and you have a November, December released. And then you have 2 shows that connect, one in the beginning of the year, one in the end of the year, and then one animated that maybe doesn't connect, like an X-Men 97 or What If. That seems, I think, would spread things out enough. It's still a lot, obviously, but you have a lot of story to tell. You have a lot of characters that matter. And as we're going to get into in a Thunderbolts review, people want to see these characters. We'd like to evolve with them and not have to wait 4 years to see them again.
Sure.
Which Shang-Chi heads out there like me. We wait. We wait.
It's good.
We
I need it.
Yeah, we wait. But yeah, before we get on, let's get in the last piece of Marvel news before we get into Thunderbolts in and of itself. The last piece was the set photos from Avengers Doomsday. A lot of the cast from Avengers Doomsday, including Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. and Simu Liu, shared photos of the cast on set, hanging out, watching Thunderbolts. They all kind of shouted out the movie, give it a big shout out. And honestly, this made my 15, 14-year-old self very happy. I was like, we're back. I felt like we were back in the old school Marvel days. And I just, my heart grew 3 sizes that day. My cynical side went away for just a moment.
Yeah. I love those
May 4th
subtitles.
rolled around. And you're like,
Who did?
Hunter. He was happy until May 4th, and then he's like, Star Wars, right?
They used to understand The Last Jedi.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, are we ready to Thunderbolts it?
Yes.
So,
All right, let me read the synopsis for everybody, and let me get into it. We're going to do non-spoilers, then we're going to do spoilers, then we can do post-credit scene talk, and then I think we need to talk about maybe where we think this is going. We could do Marvel as a whole.
Mhm.
We could say where we put it in our Marvel rankings if you guys want as well. I think that could be a little interesting. Okay, so Thunderbolts. After finding themselves ensnared in a death trap, an unconventional team of anti-heroes must embark on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. Starring Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Louis Pullman, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, and Hannah John Carmen, as well as Wendell Pierce in a pretty funny role as a congressman who shows up for like the first half and then is just completely forgotten about.
Yeah.
But I did like him, especially because he beat Superman this summer, so had to shout him out. Charles, this is the first movie in about 3 weeks that you've seen with us on the pod. So why don't you go first?
yeah, sure. I mean, I did talk about The Accountant 2 last week with you, but
Dang it.
I can still go first. I thought it was great. I thought it was very, very good. I went in expecting a 4-star because I saw both of your reviews. I heard about the word of mouth. Like, I heard everyone raving about it. Had it briefly as a 4.5-star after watching it. Ended up moving it back to a 4 because I'm like thinking 84 is my score for it. But I think it acknowledged like everything that we have said is lacking in Marvel, like the cookie cutter superhero. You start with like something funny or like some random battle, and then you get into the actual what's the word, plot, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like an end battle. Like that's how every superhero movie is. It's like tired. We've talked about that. You don't go into like character development. I mean, Captain America, I don't feel like there was like any character development really. But in this one, in Thunderbolts, they were kind of tasked with a pretty tough hand because they had to develop like 6 characters that like none of us really knew that well, and frankly didn't like that much. Am I boring you, Hunter?
Sorry. I'm drinking all this water.
That loud. But like honestly, to an extent, made every character like pretty endearing because like you actually understand who they are, why they are who they are, how they came to be in this situation. I mean, we had an idea already, but like we understand now why they've like stayed in this situation. And it just gave like almost like a sense of like humanity to each character, which I don't think we've seen in a lot of Marvel movies. And I just thought it made the movie a lot more impactful and enjoyable to watch because you're actually connecting with the characters. Like, oh my God, this character's dealing with this, but like they're putting on a brave face. I'm mostly thinking of like John Walker when I say that. That I really liked, and also I feel like this villain was the ultimate villain was what's her name? I forget her name.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
That like ultimately, if you like dig under the soil, she's the villain. But you know, like on the poster, you think Sentry's the villain, and like to an extent he is. But what's cool about this particular villain is they're same thing as the characters. It's like an onion. Like it's not just
It's like an ogre.
Like a what?
Like an ogre.
Shrek reference.
Sorry.
Bro couldn't help himself.
Sorry.
Like at face value, he's a villain because he's like almighty and has this dark side. But you actually understand why he has this dark side, and they don't just like throw it all in for like a 45-second flashback like they have for past villains and expect us to like be on board with it. Like throughout the movie, we get firsthand, like direct and indirect exposure to his struggles.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a 45-second flashback. This is how he is. Carry on. you get indirect stuff like when he's talking like, oh yeah, I'm fine, or like that kind of stuff, or when he like goes into everyone's past and sees what they're dealing with, and you just get snippets of this until finally he goes to become the Void. And I'm ranting and I apologize, but it was just a much more impactful movie to me. I also think it brought like it brought a light to like mental health issues, which I thought was really cool. And I don't think it was forced at all. I think they did a very good job presenting it, like that people aren't alone and like if people are struggling. I just thought it was a great villain, a convoluted villain, but great villain. And like they actually did a good job making you care about characters that you wouldn't really think to care about to begin with.
Yeah.
Sorry to rant.
No, I mean I feel like it's in terms of a non-spoiler. I feel like you gave them as much as.
So Charles, what did you give this out of 100? Sorry, I'm trying to get the graphic up.
Still 84.
Okay, 84. Cool. Great.
Bro's yawning and not listening.
I was listening. I didn't know if because you said it was a 4.5 and I changed it. I just want to make sure. I just want to double check.
I mean, looking at like non-spoilers for me, I feel like it just felt like such a breath of fresh air, which I feel like the best Marvel movies can do. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It feels so different. I mean, obviously the soundtrack and the score that the movie brings, but then being able to actually feel for these characters is something that and when again, like when I say that Marvel has like, that they haven't gone anywhere, like I mean that, but it still doesn't change the fact that I think there are several projects where they've missed, like everything they throw out doesn't have to be a hit for them to be back, or for them to stay where they are. Because early on in the MCU, they had some stinkers, like let's be real. The first Iron Man movie is the only like good/great Iron Man or like movie out of that trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's because I'm not
I'm
like,
an Iron
like
Man
the
3
second.
defender. I'm an Iron Man.
No, I like it too. I like Iron Man 3. I think it's a good movie, but I'm just saying like in terms of like good/great, like I think Iron Man and then the Thor movies. Holy cow! Like the first two movies.
Whoa, hang on,
dude.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying. Like, look, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it's not like at the status where people are demanding of these movies right now. You know what I'm saying? Like people now are just like, oh, we need like a great or a really good Marvel movie right now. And I'm just saying, like in the past, I think there have been like they've been enjoyable and there's been enjoyable aspects of them. But like the threshold that people have after Infinity War and Endgame is just like through the roof. As where they didn't have those standards way back when they started. Sorry, that was like a whole nother rant. But this movie, I thought it did a good job. I loved these characters and they were so much fun to watch throughout. And I was able to feel for all of them, even though they kind of, really only honed in on like one character or like two characters in terms of like their story and their background. But that's like my only negative for this movie, which I wouldn't even say is like a negative. Like they're really able to focus in on Florence Pugh in this movie. But I think because of that, they're not able to focus in on some of the other characters as well. Like personally, I would have loved for them to focus on, a couple of the other characters in depth a little bit more. But like I said, I think Florence Pugh is like amazing in this role. And I think they did a great job of developing her character. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in the sense of like, I want more Yelena, but then I also want more of everyone else. So it's like, where do you find that middle ground? But
I mean, I think sorry.
No, I was saying I give this movie like an 83 out of 100. So
I think we got every character except for Ghost.
Yeah, and my problem. I mean, well, I guess we'll get into it after spoilers. So we'll just let Hunter go, and then we can hop into it later.
I'm higher on this than both of you, but not by much. I give it an 86 of 100. I truly haven't had this feeling about the MCU and like the hope for what it is and what can become since Guardians 1. Like, I think that this is so good. And Charles, you made a face when I said that. So
since Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
Hang on, let me clarify a little bit. Looking at the main Avengers, right? You have the main group. And outside of that, I think there was a question mark of how can you keep expanding this universe? And then Guardians came around. And that was the first big step in the next direction, where it was like, all right, we're gonna get weird, we're gonna get wacky with it. Let's see how audiences react. And it was a big acceptance moment of what the next thing can be, and that opened up a lot of pathways. I mean, think about it, right? We went from pretty grounded movies in the first grouping of Phase 1 and even early Phase 2. I mean, think about Ant-Man 1, pretty grounded, all things considered, and now we get super weird and wacky with it because audience accepted it, because we focused on characters, and those characters that we fell in love with then expanded the universe so much more. I feel that is the same way here with Thunderbolts. We're like, this is the stuff that I was missing, where it's all character first versus the overarching story. Like, we know more, and I think have more connection to Yelena than a lot of characters we had been with for a long time. I didn't feel that same way about John Walker. I think Bucky is a great example of it, where like Bucky has been around since Captain America 1. I think his characterization since Falcon the Winter Soldier to now has been more impactful, more detailed than it even was prior to that. Like, this is the kind of stuff that makes this universe so much better, and I really did love that. I think the mental health aspect of it is great. I saw some people complaining it's like this is like the third movie in a row where Marvel has like beaten the villain with the power of friendship. I don't super agree with that take. I guess kind of in the last movie.
Yes, that's kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, but is it like it was kind of in everything else?
Really,
No, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah,
No,
but it's just I don't know. It's just really solid, and I loved a lot of that, and I think that this is the path forward for them, and it should continue to be the path forward, and I hope it is. And this is the stuff we were missing. I think that was the big complaint of like this felt like an early MCU. This felt like the interconnectedness we want, where it's 95% solo and 5% connection. And I just hope that this is the model going forward, versus what we've had the last couple movies.
Yeah. Do you want to take us into spoilers?
Yes. So for those who haven't watched it yet, I don't know what you're doing. Get out of the rock you live underneath and go see it. But we gave it. So I gave it 86. Charles gave it 84, and Jack gave it 83 out of 100. So yeah, if you are one of those people who haven't seen it yet, peace out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Everyone else who's cool, Thunderbolts time.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, are we cool with that? I was not.
Holy moly!
I was like okay with that choice. I wasn't in love with that choice.
I couldn't care less.
See, my thing is that's just like they throw her in there. They're like, yeah, let's just like get rid of her. We don't want to have her like out there anymore. And they're just like, yeah, let's just kill her in the first 10 minutes.
So I read something. I listened to something interesting. So basically, this movie was starting to film right before the strikes happened. And the strikes happened. The movie got shut down during the strikes, and that was never supposed to happen. Taskmaster was supposed to survive and actually have like a friendship with Ghost, and then during the break, and then like afterwards, the director was kind of thinking about it. I was like, we kind of need to raise the stakes a little bit, and it ended up being Ghost was kind of the collateral damage, Taskmaster was the collateral damage of it all. I don't know if I love the choice. I think we could have maybe done a little more ceremonial exit for Taskmaster, or maybe like had Taskmaster help them escape, and then just maybe not escape that fire pit. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't love that.
I didn't really.
I didn't mind it. I just recently watched, Black Widow, and there was a little more characterization there for her. But that could be it.
Yeah, I didn't really care. It was more just like a shock. Like, whoa, that was really quick. But besides that, I didn't really care.
Yeah, I think we were all expecting it, and then like when it happened, it was just kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's like let's move on and let's learn about the real characters now. Let's get into the meat of this story, and then they could. I mean, there was like obviously for the people that hadn't watched the shows, when they introduced everyone, they're like, oh my gosh, like you're a failed like copy of Steve Rogers, and like basically just introducing them. But it was like that took like 30 seconds, and I was like, I think they actually did a pretty good job with introducing characters if you hadn't seen the television show or like previous movies. So
I thought when I should have mentioned this in my recap or non-spoilers, I thought the humor in this movie was like pretty solid.
Yes, I agree. It worked.
I laughed quite a bit. Like
David Harbour and or John Walker, or not John Walker, Wyatt Russell's character just they just nailed the humor home the entire movie. And it was so
yeah. Good. I think my favorites, actually, both of them had to do with John Walker. When Sentry was like, just called him like a douchebag.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite funny. And when Yelena was like just yelling at everyone and then told John Walker, like, your family, or like, you're a failed Captain America and your family knows it too. And he was like, Jesus.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. I also liked that he, as much as he was like, I'm the macho guy, like I'm like the one who's in charge, he pretty much relinquishes, or is that the word I'm looking for? I think so. Relinquishes? Yeah, that's the one. Leadership to Yelena pretty quickly. Like even after, I mean, obviously there's like the whole scene where they have the struggle, like who's the leader. But when they're in the car and escaping, and Sentry kind of sacrifices himself for them, or like trying to sacrifice himself, like he doesn't drive away until she gives him the go ahead. And then from then on out, she's basically in charge of that team. And I thought that was pretty good because, like, you know, I think they could have went the we're struggling for who's in charge thing, and they didn't.
Yeah. Cucumber.
That's funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I liked Lewis Pullman. I thought he was
so
fantastic.
good.
I feel like he fit the character so well, and like he was the perfect amount of kind of like awkwardness, kind of like to where he really like felt for his character, which I feel like just in terms of movies, I feel like it's very rare to get someone on screen where like immediately just like based on how they're acting, kind of like feel what they're feeling, like this sense of awkwardness and kind of like isolation, which I think he was just phenomenal. And he was one of the best of this movie, if not the best.
Agree 100%. It was supposed to be Stephen Yeun until Stephen Yeun dropped out. And honestly, I think Lewis Pullman was I couldn't see anyone else besides Lewis Pullman here. He's so good in this role. Especially when he does like the switch over.
Yeah, it's like crazy. I'm sure you've seen it already, but it's like where he said he wanted them to change the name because he'd already played Bob before in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, that was so funny.
It's so funny because like one of my friends was like, dude, doesn't he also play Bob in Top Gun Maverick? And I was like, like this guy knows ball.
I'm thinking this guy knows ball.
The sequence where they shoot him, and I tell you, like the bullets flying to the ground, there's the shells just all lined up. That entire sequence, even though you know he's gonna make it out, they make it incredibly dramatic, and they just draw out that sequence, and it was very well done. And I think like there's not a lot of like gunshots in the MCU, you know what I'm saying? Because they're all using like their powers and stuff, and obviously like there's not many people that are just like running around with guns. But I think
for this team.
like, yeah, no, exactly, yeah. But like I feel like the way that they used guns in that scenario, I feel like it was just so well done because they could have just, you know, shot him and then they could have made it like super anticlimactic. But as for this, I feel like even though you knew he was going to come out of it, there was still some anticipation and some like, oh, what's going to happen here?
Yeah. Also, what a concept to like shoot one of these movies with practical effects on location, like, and actually doing it for real. Like you have all the money in the world. I mean, some of the shots here were just like so much better than what we've gotten recently. Specifically the 1-2 at the ending where they're in kind of his final void room and it's him sitting on the gurney with the two shadows on the wall, which we got a tease of earlier in the movie and she had no idea what it was. Like such a good little full circle moment. I loved that. Really thought that was just a strong moment. Yeah.
I mean, I guess hopping into the other characters, I like the sequence where he kind of touched them, and then you get like a little glimpse of what they were thinking.
Yes.
I don't know, and I think we've talked about this in the past. Obviously, you're a big U.S. Agent fan, John Walker. I think I'm in that same boat with you. I would have loved to see some of the trauma and some of the like more of the void that these characters had to go into. Obviously, it's very clear this is Yelena's. Or you know the focus is on her, but man, seeing what Bucky had to be going through during that time, and honestly on the internet, people are like, dude, Spider-Man's just screwed. That poor dude is just reliving some
You're
awful
a fraud,
stuff.
Spider-Man. You're a fraud.
I mean, it's just like, the death of his aunt, MJ just, all of his friends forgetting him. Tony Stark, it's just, it doesn't end. And I think that if they play their cards right, I think that I'm not saying that I want the MCU to draw this out and show every single character and what they had to go through, but man, I would really love to see just some of the characters in New York and like what they had to go through when they were in the void.
Yeah, and that is also why I do think that the post-credit scene has the 16th month time jump, because I do believe that this will probably timeline-wise maybe take place with something else that was going on to help maybe explain away. Also, I think it'd be great too if, like, obviously the void consumed everything, and so it's not like Spider-Man could have pulled up and been like, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
So like when the void does kind of go around and consume everything, it would maybe be interesting too if like maybe Spider-Man 4 opens up with him maybe dreaming or what he thinks is dreaming, waking up from the void and reliving some of those things, and that would be a pretty cool way to open it up. But no, I mean we're on Spider-Man fraud watch right now until he starts showing up and helping out. He better be the busiest guy alive, all right, when that movie starts.
I said he better be on like 168-hour work weeks where they're just not letting him leave the office. And he's like, no, I seriously, I have to go. Please. And they're like, no, you got your pillow. Go sleep under the desk.
Yeah. J. Jonah Jameson better have him be doing a long shifts or else this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing that's so funny about this is I would argue this is nothing groundbreaking. Like, it's not like this was reinventing the wheel. This was just going back to the stuff that this does right. You take the formula that works and you change it by 4 or 5% to get what the new story out of it. I mean, it's such a simple concept that they did for 2 decades so well. And just in the last few years, they've kind of gone away from it. And I think that is, what they were missing. And I think that's why this is so good.
I love, and again, adjusting to the formula, the first half, they throw you right in, action, lots of character introduction. The second half, sure, there's still action, but like the action isn't really what drew me in. Like, it's the character interactions, it's the character development, the story with, the conversation between, Red Guardian and Yelena, like once they've all left one another, she's like, Dad, I feel so alone. I feel so isolated. Like, dude, I'd seen the trailer a bajillion times. I'd gotten goosebumps every single time. And he says, Yelena, when I look at you, I don't think about your failures. And I'm like, it hit me like a brick, even though I'd heard him say that just 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And I think like a good story should be able to do that even when you know it's coming. So I just applaud them to the highest degree, because that scene alone was just like, I don't know. I didn't cry during this movie, but I think like that scene got me pretty close. I mean, like father-daughter relationship, they just totally nailed it. It's been building up to this, like we've seen these characters before, but I think it was just perfectly executed, and I love those.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I also
much.
think it's like, what a concept to let stuff sit for a few seconds without a joke.
Yeah.
Like in the last few years, if they did that scene, it would have ended with like Yelena making a joke about it, or like Red Guardian being like, all right, now we're done with the sappy stuff. It's like, it's like, let these characters be adults for 5 seconds and like let them have conversations. And I think the biggest one too that I thought was a great moment was in the void when Yelena is in the room before she gets to Bob, and she's in the bathroom with herself, and her other self forces her to drink. I was like, what a great visual metaphor for like what this is. And it's so funny too, because obviously you go back a decade or you go back a few years, like even longer than that, and they wouldn't do the demon in the bottle storyline with Tony Stark because it's like, we don't want to get to alcoholism and all that. And that's such a big storyline from the comics. And now they're not afraid to jump into these things with darker tones and darker characters. And I think that is such a great thing, where they're not afraid to jump into those things and do those things. So big recommend and big applaud for what they're doing now. Really like that.
Just
yeah.
Amazing stuff. I genuinely wanted to see this movie again, and
dude, you should. I think it was better the second
want to
time.
go
To
back.
be honest, I think the second time I liked it more.
And
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It makes
Like
you
every
feel
time I
something.
watch a Marvel movie a second time in theaters, it always loses like some effect.
See, I
Guardians
thought
might
the
be
opposite here.
the outlier, but
It made me feel something, which is like so awesome for one of these. Like I left Captain America: Brave New World, and I'm like, I love Sam Wilson. I
Yeah.
didn't feel anything. I wasn't excited by his
100%.
story, and I think the biggest thing there too is it's like it was afraid to take him to the next step. Where like
Yeah.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier as a show made him accept the fact that he has the shield. So it's like when they just do that story again, it doesn't make you feel anything. Or like even, like Shang-Chi for the first 2/3 of that movie, it makes you feel. And then you get to that third act where it's just a CGI battle fest, and then it kind of takes away some of that magic. Where like
Yeah.
here they didn't go full CGI smacking each other for the last 25 minutes, which I think is such a great choice. And they did it with the power of friendship.
And again, it's like Captain America. We always knew he was never going to beat the Hulk.
Yeah.
And just the way that ended, it just, even like the CGI that was used for that specific fight sequence before he calms him down, like threw me off. I was like, there were certain parts of it that like threw me out of the scene, and especially with I love Harrison Ford. Love Harrison Ford, like one of my favorite actors of all time, but like really did not feel anything for him in this movie. And this movie just did it so well as to where we meet Bob and we get how many seconds of screen time, or like minutes of screen time, like 15, maybe 20.
Yeah, and I felt more for these characters
Exactly.
so much faster than I have in a long time with characters in the MCU. And I think that's either, hopefully it's a way they're coming around to it. I hope that the same kind of method and methodology is taken to the Fantastic Four, because I feel like they need the same treatment. And I hope maybe that they go back to the drawing board and realize, we made some mistakes in the past. And I mean, if you look at the last few movies from them, it's not like they were bad, right? Like Guardians 3, a lot of heart. I think Guardians 3 is honestly my top 2 Marvel. Spider-Man No Way Home, yes, cameo fest for sure. But like, I still really loved it. Multiverse of Madness, I think higher on than the rest of us, but like still not bad. Thor: Love and Thunder, honestly, is the epitome of kind of the negative side we're talking about. It doesn't take the character further. It honestly regresses the character.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jane Foster, like, there's never a moment in that movie where it takes itself seriously. And that is what's missing in this. Yes, they're comic book characters. Yes, they do weird, wacky stuff. But in their world, you have to take it seriously. And they just, when they don't, it falls apart. And that's why I think this works so well. Also, the score here is awesome. I will listen to it constantly.
Was good.
I think the Thunderbolts theme, incorporating the Avengers theme, is so awesome.
Really?
So should we talk about the ending with who they now are?
Yes.
Okay, so the end of the movie, obviously they become the new Avengers. So it was, Val kind of saves herself by calling them her new Avengers. It was her plan all along. But then Yelena says, we own you now. And I think it was kind of a great moment. And then it fast forwards. We kind of get some cool stuff too. Like, are they the next people up? Like they did like the "We Can Do It," but it's Yelena and it's "Can we do it?" or "Can they do it?" I just thought all that was great. And then we fast forward. So we do the post-credit scene. 14 months later, they are in the Watchtower. They're discussing the legal ramifications of being the Avengers. And it's revealed that Sam Wilson is his own team of Avengers, and they calling themselves the Avengers, and they're trying to figure it out legally. It seems like Sam Wilson also is suing them for the name of the Avengers, and they have a joke about copyright law and adding a C to the end. We get an interesting thing there with Bucky and Sam, where it seems like maybe they're not in the best terms right now, which is interesting coming off the better cameo in Captain America 4. We see that Bob is still trying to figure out his powers. Obviously, he doesn't want to fully unleash them because Sentry means the Void is with him. And then we get the big tease coming of the Fantastic Four. Before we get into the Fantastic Four at all, I think we should talk about the lawsuit, who the real Avengers are. I saw some people hating on Sam Wilson in this. I'm honestly Team Sam. And I think it ties back to which side you were on for Captain America Civil War, because Sam's whole thing is you didn't want the government to control who the Avengers are and what the Avengers can do. But by being a part of Val's team, which even though they're not, they're still bankrolled by Val, and they're still kind of under the boot of the American government. It takes away some of their autonomy. And so that's where I'm kind of team Sam, and it's very interesting to see. I wonder why Bucky maybe is not on that team, or they haven't come to like an agreement of what the Avengers are by this point, which is a pretty interesting story that either I think will be maybe explored a little bit or just completely thrown under the rug in the first 5 minutes of the next movie.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting because it's like, basically the entire sequence of Civil War, and one of the main reasons why Chris Evans doesn't really want to be, or Captain America doesn't want to be under the government, is because he wants to save Bucky, who has done a lot of terrible things under the eyes of the government, and not really sure they would allow that. So I also think it's very interesting that Bucky would kind of be on that side of like with the government, especially after everything that he's been through.
Well, he is a congressman.
Well, no,
that's part of it.
No, I know, but he's like, he became a congressman to do good. Like, I don't think he like joined up and teamed up with a lot of the corrupt you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, for sure.
He joined to do good, as to where
argument of like I can do better from within the government, within the system.
And this is something I wanted to hit on before we got to this point, but it's like all these characters, like, they're just relatable. I mean, I'm not saying to like the highest degree, but like everyone wants to be recognized. Everyone wants to have purpose. Everyone wants to feel like they're doing good things and that they are loved by the people around them. And I think that this group is a perfect example of that and I think that's why the Guardians of the Galaxy are so lovable as well. Like, they're losers. Like, they are not the best of the best. And it's like, I can relate. Like, holy cow, like, I'm not the best at, some of the things that I do in my life, but it's like, I just want to feel like I'm, I belong and that I have value. And it's like, like Yelena wants to have that higher calling, and she wants to be able to serve, and I think she gets that opportunity here. And I was honestly surprised that they didn't just like jump her right then and there, but obviously with the whole camera crew, it was just kind of a hard situation. So I think it's fitting, but I agree. I hope that this is something they kind of take to heart, and they try and like resolve in the next movie instead of just, throwing it under the rug, because I hope it's just not something to try and give us like a snippet of the next movie, which I like that they did that, but like, let's just not do post-credit scenes just to, throw information around. Like, let's make something of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I do worry with what the next movie is, which obviously the next movie is the Avengers Doomsday, that they won't have ample time to spend on this division between the two Avengers teams. Now, we did learn also that this post-credit scene was directed by the Russo brothers on the set of Avengers Doomsday. It was only filmed 4 weeks ago for this release, which is pretty cool. So the look of the characters in this post-credit scene is probably the look they're going to have in Doomsday, which Bucky is going to have some serious flow. Which
I hated it.
He had some flow.
I did not like it.
Lettuce.
I think it's a thing where they're going to change it. Like, they'll obviously it's a wig, but I think they're going to find a way to make it blend in a little bit better. I think it was very obvious it was a wig.
I don't know. I dug the lettuce. I dug the lettuce.
Well, I like the hairdo. It's just I think that it was just so obvious that it's a wig. It just kind of drew me out a little bit. But I like the route they're trying to go with the hairstyle, if that makes sense. I know I'm kind of like on both sides here. I will say one thing though. I was like, I went online after the post-credit scene, and people are like, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe they would ruin the Fantastic Four movie like that." It's like, they're coming to this universe. Where they're from is not, the universe that we've seen so far.
Also, if you listen to the podcast,
why does this surprise you?
Yeah. I spoiled this 3 weeks ago on the podcast. I'm like, I told you.
For all we know, only like a couple of them could be on that ship, and the rest of them could be coming on another ship, and they could get separated. Like, how do we know that do you really think that they're going to be Galactus in this movie? Like, no one thinks they are. Like, everyone knows Galactus he's gonna munch. This dude is gonna have a tasty snack. And the Fantastic Four are gonna be like, yeah, see ya.
Yeah, I've said it for weeks now. I think the ending of the Fantastic Four is going to be Reed lies to them. Reed lies to them. He's gonna tell them that he could have. He's like, I did all I could, when really he was just thinking of himself and the Fantastic Four to help them escape. And that's gonna cause an incursion, which brings them to this world, which is the Marvel universe. And then that's how Doom finds them or something. So I would not be shocked if the ending of Doomsday is the reveal of what Reed Richards did. I think that'd be a really cool reveal.
Will he be the maker?
I don't think he'll be the maker, but I wouldn't be shocked if Reed makes that choice, because I think the thing that has been missing for so long from the movie Reeds is that Reed in the comics is kind of not a great dude.
Just very egotistical.
Yeah, and I think that we've been missing that.
Yeah, because I think we get a little bit of that in the earlier one where, like, obviously he has this, very high standards for himself, but he's not like a complete douchebag. Like, there's times where yeah, exactly. Like, where I think there are, like, points where he needs to be like, yeah, I'm the man, and I know I'm the man. Which I don't really know if I get those vibes from Pedro Pascal's character in the trailer. He seems like the more of, like, non-confrontational type.
Seems like a sad dude in the trailer.
Yeah. I don't know. But, again, I think it's interesting, like, with the Thunderbolts, how they explored mental health. It's not really something we've taken a look at in the Marvel Universe. Something we also haven't taken a look at in the Marvel Universe is, like, superheroes having children. Like, how do we deal with that? Like, what does that look like? Like, making these superheroes human, and I think that's, like, the best thing that Marvel's chosen to do in, like, years. Like, they are real people. Make them feel.
Hawkeye had kids.
Well, yeah, but, like, it's not like his kid has superpowers.
But that was one of the best things they did to Hawkeye, is when Hawkeye's kids got blipped. Character development happened for him.
Sure.
I'm also with you. I think that is the choice Reed is going to make. It's like, once his kid gets involved, it goes away from saving people to saving his family. And that's why he'll make that choice. Also, forgot to say it earlier at the Thunderbolts talk, them saving people. What a concept in a superhero movie. But it makes
so
such
good.
a difference. That is what makes these movies so much better. Like, having people on the streets, having people react to things, having them walk by is just such a big, simple thing that makes it so impactful. And I think that's something that I loved in the Raimi trilogy. Not to go back to those, but, like, the Raimi trilogy, New York was alive. It had people in it. It had a culture, and we didn't get that for a while, and now we finally got it. And I think that was such a great moment, especially the little girl getting just dusted away was
that was brutal.
It was crazy.
I don't know about you guys. I'm sitting in the theater with, like, my friends. Like, the sequences are happening. Like, each hero is going and saving someone, and I'm just like goosebumps after goosebumps. I'm like, this is so awesome. They're each giving them, like, their own time to shine, to, like, go and save someone. And then Red Guardian saves that little girl, and he's like, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. And then she just gets. I was just laughing. I laughed so hard. I don't know if you guys did, but I thought it was so funny.
You're a sick individual, Jack.
Well, it was like, he's funny. He was like, everything's gonna be okay, and then it's just like,
yeah.
And I don't know. This just gave me a lot of hope, and it made me feel like early Marvel. It made me feel something I haven't felt in a while with Marvel, and it made me like, this is the stuff where it's we miss these characters. Like, why are we not seeing these people more often? I mean, since Elaine has been shown the first time, she's had 3 appearances, and it's been in 5 years. Ghost has been almost 8 years since we last saw her. John Walker
was in Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
For what? Okay.
For like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Bucky we get every couple of years, but, like, even U.S. Agent, we haven't seen him since Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, it's good to see them again, and it's such a simple concept. But once you get to a universe so large, it takes a minute to people to show up. So,
and it's like Marvel's had success over the past 5 years, and again, like, I don't think Marvel's gone anywhere. I think they've had successful, products almost every year, and I've applauded them for, like, the good things that they have made. Well, they have made some, heaping pile of trash. Like, that's fine, but, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, great movie. Even Spider-Man, No Way Home, good movie. But like after those movies, you're not like, oh, I see the direction that they're headed in and I feel good about it. Like Guardians, it's like, okay, boom, we're done with them. We can pick them up whenever we want to, but like honestly, don't expect to see them again. And you're like, man, such a great send off.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, yeah. But then we get that Spider-Man ending and it's like, oh, awesome, he's on his own. But we're like, all right, well, what's he gonna do? What's gonna happen next? And it's like, and I think that, saying these are the new Avengers. This is the new like face of, the protectors of, New York. I love it and I'm all for it. And I think the post-credit scene, while I wasn't like as over the top and excited as some people were, like I like that they're trying to blend them together because they have very little time to do so. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy we're not going to get another one of these or like a new Avengers movie before we get to Doomsday.
Yeah,
I think that is pretty wild, but hey, that's the bed they made, so they're gonna have to lie in it. I think it would be awesome too if we got like, I mean, Doomsday obviously can have Doom in and everything, but if we got like an Avengers versus Avengers movie where it's like they're almost trying to out recruit each other of like all these people they have to try to find. Like it'd be funny if like Yelena goes to Moon Knight and it's just like, you in? And he's like, no, sorry, Sam Wilson talked to me first. Like it's like that. That'd be, I don't know. I think that'd be pretty good.
Sam Wilson offered me more NIL money. I can't. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, his transfer portal was too good. I don't know. It's good to have hope again with the MCU, and I'm glad. And it's not like we lost it, but I do think there was a bit of a wavering.
I gotta ask. So, who do we think is on Sam Wilson's Avengers team?
Okay, so I put some thought into this. So, hang on, I'm gonna sneeze. Nope, I'm good. I thought of
Cucumber.
Sam Wilson, Falcon, Shuri, Black Panther. I think that we're gonna also have possibly other people from the Black Panther universe, maybe like M'Baku, kind of those guys. I think Thor for sure.
Star-Lord?
I don't think Star-Lord. I think Ant-Man though. I think that's your team of 6. It's gonna be
no Spider-Man. Did you say Spider-Man or no Spider-Man?
I don't know who Spider-Man is.
And also based on scheduling, I think Spider-Man won't be in Doomsday, but he'll be in his movie is like in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. I don't know if he'll be in this. So I think those are your 6. And then the people kind of floating out there is like Doctor Strange. I don't think he'll be on either team. I do think the Thunderbolts might try to recruit like a Shang-Chi. If not, I think maybe Sam Wilson might try to get like a Shang-Chi because obviously Sam and like Bruce and Carol Danvers know each other from that post-credit scene. So that's the thing too is like if Bruce Banner's in on it, like is Bruce Banner's going to probably be on Captain America's team. So Shang-Chi on that team. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty interesting. I do think though it's like so. Sorry, let me recap real faster. Shuri, Falcon, Captain America, Ant-Man, maybe M'Baku, Shang-Chi, and I think I have Thor. Yeah, those are my 7.
See, I gotta say, unless the Sentry's coming back, these guys are kind of
that team is way better.
I would love for this team to be able to hug every single villain ever and be like, it's okay, you're all right, you're with me, you're with me. I could, like, I would love that for them. But let's be real, Sentry's got to get it together.
Yes,
my homie's got to. If he can manage it though, they are going to be a good squad. So I like Ghost too. I still feel like we're still on like I think there's some pretty sweet action sequences that we could get with her that we haven't really like seen yet. So I'm optimistic and I'm excited to see if they can, get some pretty sweet like how Yelena and Red Guardian kind of did the Steve Rogers and Black Widow, and like he launched her into the air to go save that person. I think it'd be cool if Ghost were to find like her own kind of team up with somebody to like elevate both of their powers at the same time. That'd be pretty sweet. I don't know if you guys also. I'm sorry. U.S. agent, like he would like tick, like it's almost like he had like a roid rage. He would just like kind of like he'd hit somebody and he'd just kind of like shake for a second and then just kind of like keep going. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but
he had something very similar in Falcon the Winter Soldier. When he like roid raged out and killed that guy in Falcon the Winter Soldier, that was pretty similar. Charles, who do you think is on the Avengers teams?
I think Star-Lord is on the teams. I'm trying to think.
I think Star-Lord would be on this team. I think he's more Thunderbolts than he is Sam Wilson.
They went to him and said, "You're a loser just like us.
Yeah, he's like,
You're coming with us, buddy."
Yeah.
I think Moon Knight is more Thunderbolts.
I think he was supposed to be in the Thunderbolts. Like like a lot of people expected Moon Knight to be in the Thunderbolts, right? Or there was a chance that like he would. Like, am I wrong, Hunter? Because I may not know this comic book knowledge as much as you do, but I could have sworn like a lot of people were speculating that like Moon Knight was going to be in the Thunderbolts originally.
Yeah, I mean, so there's kind of different ones. So like there's like the Midnight Suns, which is the
that's what I'm thinking of.
Crew.
Sorry, it's like Daredevil and
yeah. So like Blade is on that team. The Thunderbolts have had a lot of different group members over the years. Like Thunderbolts have had, like even at points, like the Punisher has been the Thunderbolts.
Gotcha.
Carnage has been there. The Hulk has been on the Thunderbolts before. So the Thunderbolts have kind of changed. And also this team isn't really a Thunderbolts team. Obviously with the namesake at the end changing. I would say that this team is more similar to the West Coast Avengers, which was a separate Avengers team that was obviously on the West Coast. That team was led by Hawkeye for a while, and that team had people like Wonder Man, which is coming out later this year to Disney Plus, free ad. That team had Moon Knight on it. Hawkeye was on that team. I think Iron Patriot was on that team for a while. So yeah, and US Agent was on that team as well. So yeah, there were some people on that team. So that's what I think is end up being is like once the dust kind of settles, there's going to be the main Marvel Avengers team. There'll be a West Coast Avengers team, and then there's going to end up being a Young Avengers team because I mean think about it: Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, Iron Lad, the Patriot that
Ironheart.
Yeah, Ironheart. Yeah, that show comes out in a couple months. So yeah.
Kate Bishop, I'm making some very delicious macaroni. Sorry.
Catches sriracha. Hello.
Sorry guys.
Do you think she's on like Gru every once in a while? Every once in a while I was getting a little Gru energy from her.
No. She's not like, we are going to steal
the moon.
Red Guardian. You know, like, no. It's not what I got. But I mean, I guess if I really forced myself to think it was Gru, like I could, but
yeah,
I didn't get that at all.
America Chavez is out there somewhere doing stuff.
Oh yeah, she's just hopping from place to place. She's like, yeah,
I think she's at Magic War. So Charles, who we got? What are we thinking? Pop it in. You've been quiet over there.
I've been quiet. I mean, I agree with most of the people. I think Star Wars is the one person I would add. If I had to take someone out. Is Thor really still in the Avengers?
I think so. Right? He's living in like New Zealand, which is New Asgard.
Raising his daughter.
No, Valkyrie probably is.
Well,
I don't think Valkyrie is.
Man, should I rewatch Love and Thunder? I haven't seen it in so long.
Oh, Shang-Chi. He would be on the team too. Did you already say it?
Yeah, Shang-Chi for sure.
Is Aquafina gonna join with him?
Oh, dear.
Like Aquafina, I need you to help me take out Kang. Like classic meme.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, wait, hang on. So let me name some characters we've been missing, and then I want you guys to tell me where you think they'll end up. Here we go. Let's go with any of the Eternals. Will any of the Eternals show up anywhere?
No.
Okay,
I don't think so. As much as I would like them to, I'd like them. I wish they would.
Good. I would like them to show up.
Yeah.
Do we think that Deadpool will show up in any capacity?
Yeah. I feel like he would mess more with like bro does definitely he does not like the government at all. I feel like he would definitely.
I kind of think he wouldn't. Yeah,
I feel like I would like him to show up, or I mean, I feel like if this is the big event that they're making it out to be, I feel like he should, especially if they're bringing back all the X-Men. Like it just feels weird to have a Deadpool in your like cinematic universe and not use him. So,
I think that what's going to happen, and this is my complete theory, is for those that remember the Marvels, the end of that, Monica Rambeau goes to a universe that has a beast in it, played by Kelsey Grammer. I'm going to go with that universe is the same universe that Deadpool and Wolverine are in, and that's how they'll all connect. That's my my theory. Put the old thinking cap on.
This guy's cooking.
Yeah, but yeah. Anything else on Thunderbolts? Really good. Really big recommend from us.
Yeah.
Say all around. I would see it again. Honestly, this was one that I seeing it again made me like it even more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if there's anything like crazy coming out next week. So it's like there's like if you just want to go see the Thunderbolts again. Like,
there's Fight or Flight next week, which maybe we could talk about. That's the what is that? That's the
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, the Josh Hartnett plane movie.
I've heard it's not great, but I've also heard it's like if you just want to see like a super fun Josh Hartnett movie, like that's kind of it. But I don't know. I'm interested.
We could pick something else to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can kind of figure that off screen. I don't really know any direction that we could head into, but yeah, the possibilities are endless.
We'll find something. We'll find something and then we'll post about it. So be sure to be following our socials if you're not. But yeah, where do you guys have this ranked in your Marvel list? By the way, I have it at 13.
Okay, I think I have
12 if you don't count the shows.
I think I have in my top 15 as well. I think I'd probably put it above. I think probably put it like a 11 ish.
It's very fair.
Maybe. I mean, it could kind of like anywhere in the 15 range. Like I kind of have like Black Panther at like 13, so like maybe like before that or slightly after. I haven't really reviewed these rankings in quite a while, but it's up there. It's one of Marvel's best. Period. I'm also getting really tired of going on TikTok and seeing people go, "The Thunderbolts is not one of Marvel's best movies of the past few years. It's one of their best ever." All right, buddy. I get it. It's a good movie. I agree, but come on.
I have it at 13. I have it just above Shang-Chi and Deadpool Wolverine and just below the first Avengers and Captain America 1.
Oh, dang.
I have it at 10.
I don't know if we've shared our top 5 Marvel movies. I mean, I guess we could. I know we did a draft.
Should we do that real quick? Do a little share?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. So how do you guys? Let me ask you this. And we should probably said it earlier for the Star Wars, but like, do you guys rank when you do a ranking? Do you rank it based on your personal favorite or what you think is actually best? Because that's where I struggle a bit. Because like my number 1, I don't think is the best thing they've made, but it's my personal favorite.
Bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Like, I think you can weigh it kind of. It sounds stupid to say weigh it equally, but like, I don't know. We can just hop into it if we want to do a top 5.
Let's do top 7. Let's get weird.
Whoa, bro, it's getting freaky.
Charles, why don't you go first? We'll do reverse order of what we did for Star Wars.
My top 7, starting at 7, Spider-Man No Way Home, Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and Guardians 3.
Wow. All right. Nice.
Am I up? Sorry.
You are up.
Yeah, so for my top 7, I have Avengers Infinity War. I think it's just I don't think it's like their best overall movie necessarily, but I think like the memories and the feelings I've associated towards that movie, it just kind of like it elevates it to that certain level for me. And then number 2, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 3, I have Captain America the Winter Soldier. Number 4, I have the OG Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 5, I have Thor Ragnarok. 6, I have Captain America Civil War. And then at 7, I have Avengers Endgame.
All right. I have at number 7, I have Guardians 1. 6, I have Iron Man. 5, I have Infinity War. 4, I have the Winter Soldier. 3, Avengers Endgame. 2, Guardians 3. And at number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Respectable.
I'm a sap for that Spider-Man. And also Spider-Man Homecoming.
Good surprises there.
is number 8 on my list. Was just missed our little.
No surprises there.
Did the Last Jedi happen to just like sneak its way into this ranking too, or?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Uh,
Oh, brother.
We got to do a draft soon. I feel like we haven't done a draft in a hot minute. I feel like next week is a
Maybe
draft
next week. Next week. Ooh, let's do like a couple drafts next week. Maybe next week will just be a draft week. Heck yeah.
I'm in.
We'll get real nitty-gritty.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we'll also contact our local representatives to give us more information about the tariff.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bucky Barnes will be on the podcast next week as my local representative.
Come on.
That was funny when he was just like, I don't like it, and we're going to look into it, and
Yeah.
I also don't like it.
For a second, it almost felt like you were at like a play and someone forgot their lines. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, like what is he doing?
Yeah, he was just so clearly, and then him just reading the packet, he's like, God, the packet sucks. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, anything else, boys?
I think that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. We've had some good weeks back to back. We got some stuff coming up. Let me look at the schedule real quick before we wrap up here. So this week we'll figure out what we're going to talk about this week. Next week is Hurry Up Tomorrow in the Final Destination movie. Then we get to Mission Impossible, Lilo and Stitch, Karate Kid, and then we're pretty busy after that. So once really this next week passes, we are nonstop through most of the summer, which is very exciting.
Bang.
So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. And then Charles and my Comic-Con comes up real soon. We'll be on the scene. Maybe we'll get some more Marvel news those days, and we'll have to
vlog. We'll vlog the whole thing.
We will vlog the whole thing. Actually, it'd be really fun. We should. It'd be really fun.
You guys should vlog it.
Charles, it'll be the first time one of us sees a movie together on the podcast since Charles and I live together, because we'll be seeing Fantastic Four together.
Sheesh.
That's exciting. Damn.
I think I'm genuinely still so upset that I'm like literally I love how like I joined the podcast as soon as we 2 weeks after you guys graduated. And I'm just like, I haven't seen you guys, like we haven't like, I mean, you guys, I don't know, have you guys seen each other since?
Yeah, we've seen each other.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny because I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just like, it's so
just
crazy.
never aligned with doing the podcast though.
I know. And the first in-person pod is gonna go absolute bananas. It's gonna blow everyone's hats off. It's gonna change the world.
It's gonna be crazy.
I'm gonna find one we all have to see together this year. I'm gonna figure one out. We'll figure out a way to do it.
We'll find a good one.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Find a way. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, as always, thank you all for listening. Follow our socials. Give this a 5 out of 5 stars on whatever you're listening to or watching it on. And yeah, have a good week at the box office. See ya.